I've seen a few UFOs, but usually they're just like ball.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, frogs, anons, and whatever you are, crickets, I guess now, whatever
No,
animal.
no, no furries. Furries are banned.
No, if you're a furry, get the fuck out of here. But seriously, though, if you join the stream, really appreciate it. Of course, today's a very special occasion. I'm celebrating hitting 1K subs on YouTube anons, which means officially super chats are enabled, so it's time for you to start giving me money, is what that means. So listen, if there's any questions you have for me tonight, no matter how racist, no matter how cringe they are, anons, I will read them if you pay me. I am shameless. So with that plug out of the way, gentlemen, I just want to give thanks for all you anons who sub to my channel, like, comment, and subscribe. It's always greatly appreciated. And I like having you anons around. It makes it worth doing the content sometimes, in this world where we have cringe and evil all the time, you need a little bit of meme and spice to keep life going. You know what I mean? It helps life get a little more passable, we'll say. But I have a special treat for you, anons, tonight. Today we're going to be streaming Half-Life 2, and I will be having lots of friends on the stream. Right now we have our good friend, Mr. Lou Templar, on. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I've really got to kill that name. It's like El Templar, because I haven't been Lutheran for a while, and technically I never was. But yes, I'm currently enjoying a nice Brazilian cigar that costs about $40. I should not buy any more. And you might hear people yelling in the background because I'm in the hood.
Well, it could be yelling about a lot of stuff, so we'll have to see.
I'm in the hood, so you might hear firecrackers, a few gunshots, people yelling, and occasionally the wild dogs.
But tonight we were streaming a classic, one of the best games probably ever made and that will ever be made, because there's no way going back from The Great Awakening, I think. We really can't make good video games anymore. It's kind of a dead art form. It's kind of a good thing that good video games have actually died. Because, honestly, when the propaganda and the slop is too good, you start focusing on the things that matter in life, and you become just, intimidated with this to, cope with the declining standards of reality around you. So, actually, Gamergate was a good thing because it forced some of you anons to wake up and get off your ass, and stop playing the video games. Even though it did take you a little bit to realize that, bitching about the video games wasn't going to get us anywhere. It was a start, though, for something, and that counts, brothers. So, we owe a lot to Gamergate, good old for our good friend Sargon, good times are never truly forgotten, as I like to say. And so tonight, we will be enjoying a classic, Half-Life 2. Please enjoy.
I should mention I'm trying to make a video game on my spare time. Godot is a fun engine to learn.
I hope you have luck with that. We need more right-wing games, actually.
Well, I'm not. I'll remind you, I'm not right-wing. But
so we're just not gay.
There's no audio. I can't hear the G-Man speaking.
Oh, come on. What is it now? Hang on.
If you're in OBS, you have to set up an audio stream.
Sure. Okay, should be able to hear it now.
There we go.
You You see, a game like this couldn't be made today because they only hire
The
women and
right man in
blacks
the
to shoot
wrong
the video
place
game offices.
can make all the
I just about.
We just gotta be real
So,
with ourselves
wake up,
here. Hey, we gotta
Mr.
wake up, like
Freeman.
He-Man has to say here.
Wake up and smell the ashes.
Mike Apollo is here.
Oh, another friend has joined. That's good news. Let me go ahead and invite him on the stream.
I'd like to just say that, like, I only have a little bit of autistic perfect pitch, but the audio and sound effects and music of Half-Life are just timeless.
They truly are. I could play this game for like 500 times and still not get bored.
My favorite part of Half-Life 2 is the bridge level. While you're underneath the bridge, the music just hits.
Oh man, this is bringing me way back. Oh man. Oh, this is
I didn't play Half-Life 2 until 2005. It's like a few years after it came out, and the experience of seeing this for the first time is carved into my brain. It was such a good game.
It really is, though, because it's like an icon of like a bygone era of a civilization that did exist for a period of time.
Take a time to talk to the characters and get to enjoy the environment design.
I'll talk to some of our friends, you know. That's what the stream's about, guys. We're going to be talking to the friends. I think we have one over here. We got to say
Yeah, he's literally me.
This is the Alex Jones character. He was put here just to be an Alex Jones stand-in.
Bro, what are they putting in the water, man? Oh, you're drinking the water. You're not getting away from it.
I can tell you so many facts about this opening level. I know from just like being a script kiddie as a kid and going through the files, like where all the trains are coming from, all the different cities. I think City 1 is supposed to be either London or Washington, and City 2 is supposed to be London or New York, and City 2 is supposed to be maybe I forget, but like you gotta think about it from the Combine's perspective. The first city that they conquered was New York.
That's interesting. I just heard the cities were just numbers. I'm not really into the lore here, you know, except they're good friends.
I love the lore of this game.
Look at this guy.
So originally the train ride was supposed to be a lot longer, and you're supposed to go through the wilderness and see like scenes and stuff.
Is this a goon cave? What do we got going on here? Of course. Anyway, you don't want us to know about it.
Yeah, this is the section where you see the state enforced goon session. Yeah, sucks.
Like literally the future, you know. It wasn't flying cars, you know. It wasn't even 200 text on Twitter.
It's important to remember. It's important to remember that when the Combine took over, this was only like 10 years after the Soviet Union fell, so it's all like post-Soviet tech.
About that beer I owed you. It's me, Gordon.
Yeah, this game
Barney
does
from
have
Black
like
Mesa.
the post-Soviet kind
put on
of
a show for the
Eastern
cameras.
European vibe to it.
I've been working undercover
that
with
I
City.
like.
One of the things in Half-Life Alyx, you get to see how all these computers work, and there's like biological parts and stuff. It's really cool.
I'm in the middle of a critical.
Oh yes, those like
Sorry, Doc,
worms.
but
Sorry, aren't those
look who's
advisor
here.
parts, right?
Great
Or whatever they are.
Gordon Freeman. I expected more warning. Yeah, you and me both, Doc. He was about to board the express to Nova Prospect.
Oh, it's a scientist, guys. We better listen to what he has to say.
I'm
you know.
thinking. Alex is around here.
What do you have to say?
Oh, yeah.
He seems very trustworthy.
Get him here. Oh,
Listen, we
as long
trust
as
the
he stays away
science
from
on this
checkpoints, we
stream.
should
We are
be
a
okay.
science respecter stream.
His voice actor is still alive, which is kind of crazy to me.
Gordon?
Didn't he voice the original
Okay,
scientist, right?
You're
The
gonna
original
have to
one?
make your own.
I think so.
Oh man,
Oh,
that's what I
shit.
was afraid of.
They're gonna take us to the goon cave
Before you
again.
blow
We're gonna get
my
out of here.
Pile up some stuff to get through that window and keep going till you're in the plaza.
Anyway, I'm gonna move my boxes here, you know, so Mom doesn't figure out that we're here.
Who knew this game predicted Amazon factory workers?
I'm gonna take
You
some
guys-
beer with me, you know, just to cheers.
Do you guys remember whenever the big hack happened? And that was like
Yeah,
the
that
biggest
was
game news. Yeah, that was the biggest.
2002 or 2002 or 2003. You know what happened to Hacker? You know how they caught him?
How?
He asked Gabe for an interview to get hired. Like, hey, I hacked your systems, hire me. And so they told the German police, because he's a German guy, and they told the German police and they arrested him.
Damn, he was so close. He could have made it all the way. He could have made it all the way.
I think he only served like 2 years in prison and became a pretty good programmer afterwards.
I mean, you have to be pretty smart to figure out like a way to get on Gabe Newell's computer, right? I mean, can you imagine how many Anons out there want to get on Gabe Newell's computer? There must be.
Yeah, well, I mean, Gabe doesn't actually run. Gabe doesn't really run Valve anymore. He's kind of like semi-retired, but he comes in occasionally with the new hardware. He's more like the spokesman now.
Hey, listen, NSA, I don't appreciate you trespassing. I'm gonna need that back.
Fun fact: throughout this early section, as the probes take photos of you, you'll hear the police officers mention like one extra guy is been reported, like someone without ID. This is like the smart idiocracy where like you don't have your government mandated tattoo, so they're chasing you down. When you get into the apartment building later on, you'll hear on the speakers an extra person has been detected than regulated, and so like you're one too many people in the 15-minute city has to be arrested.
I love how even in like our video games, the elite people who run the world in Combine are more competent than our elites in the year 2023.
So you never actually see like the elite of the Combine, but they do exist and were written, but they were kind of cut out. City 17 was supposed to have like an upper class of like old presidents and people that work for the Combine from the old governments.
They have no reason to come to our place. Don't worry.
Here we see the very progressive homosexual couple.
Yeah, we are two Slav brothers here, you know, that great texture.
This
There's
is
an
so
element.
accurate. This is
There's
so
an
accurate.
element. Sorry.
Wait, you first. You first.
Go ahead.
Well, there's an element here that's very sorry, getting distracted by a satellite I'm watching outside. But there's an element here that's sorry, never mind. I forgot what I was gonna say. Go on.
I was gonna say this is so accurate to real life. It's just been one day since Nashville elected its new mayor, and I worked in town this week or today, and I was like, "Oh man, it's already turned this bad."
Oh shit, we found another goon cave here. Yeah. What's going on in there, man? What you don't know about, you know? Maybe it's the aliens like they're hiding from us. They're gonna hide the plastic models they made for it.
Oh,
Listen, Fauci, I think we're done with your propaganda here, so I'm gonna shut you off.
I told you they'd be coming.
Talk to that guy sitting there. He says a funny comment. That guy right there. Ask him. Talk to him.
Okay, sure. Oh shit.
was that you knocking?
Yeah.
I didn't even know we still had a door.
I know every single line of dialogue in this game because I've played it so many times.
I love if you actually listen to the CPUs on the radio.
Yeah.
There's like a
Here,
million
listen,
charges
listen,
they
wait.
charge you with, actually. They charge you with a bunch
Listen.
of like, shit.
You know the report right, the radio right there. Attention, extra person detecting your block. That's you.
Head for the roof.
Oh, shit, they're on to us, boys. Better get out of here. Let these guys take the beating for me, you know? Listen, I think you guys got the wrong guy.
Like they're gonna beat down the black guy like a typical.
Yeah,
blonde
take the black guy in front of us, you know, as we all know. You know, that's what white people do. Go ahead and take the guy.
I love the music in this section. Just take a moment to take it all in. The chopper's gonna fly over you now. It's like, turn left. There you go. Everything in here is scripted. This was like very well choreographed section of the game.
It is. It has a very like post,
You know,
but also like futuristic vibe.
If you listen, the car, the APC down there, it's running on an electric engine rather than a gas engine because it's implied that the old petrol industry is gone.
Wait, isn't it implied the Combine like just like use the resources to power their stuff?
You just got longhouse.
Shit. Boys.
It's
Yeah,
over, boys.
owned.
This is the moment that birthed 1,000 simps.
Dr. Freeman, I presume.
We didn't
So
we
you-
didn't
you-
Sempery here.
You know, this game caused like white guys and their Asian wives.
Dr. Kleiner said you'd be coming this way.
Probably single-handedly too.
I don't think it occurred to him that you might not have a map.
We're to get in the elevator tool. We're stuck with the femoid now.
I'm Alex Vance. My father worked with you back in Black Mesa. I'm sure you don't remember me though.
The voice actor for Eli Vance passed away a few years ago. It's kind of sad.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Remember
He probably had. He has one of the most iconic voices in this entire game, honestly.
get my dad started on Dr. Breen.
I love how we waited like 20 years or whatever, so we could get the VR sequel just for it to have like continue the end of episode 2 for like 20 more seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I really like Half-Life Alyx. It was such a good game.
Particular.
I never
You know,
played it.
They
I've
they
heard
got
it's
a
really cool.
they hired the original voice actor for Alex to do all the lines, and then fired her and replaced her voice for the Alex. It's kind of sad. Apparently, the voice actor is still kind of bitter that she got replaced for the Half-Life Alyx.
In a better way.
I bet, because all the Sims,
Here,
you know, that's where all
let
the
me buy you a
income
drink.
comes from. As we found the lamb symbol here.
Oh, and by the way, nice to finally meet you.
If you're familiar with the leap theory, that's what it means. It means something. It's following the breadcrumbs.
I love the music in this lab.
Lamar, come out of there.
Uh-oh, everything all right, Dr. Kleiner?
Oh, hello, Alex. Well, almost all right. Lamar has gotten out of her.
You could tell this game is from a civilization that isn't in interminable decline. Just from the way it's produced.
Gordon Freeman. It really is you, isn't it?
I found him wandering around outside. Bit of a troublemaker, isn't he?
We owe a great deal to Dr. Freeman, even if trouble does tend to follow in his wake.
Why does your head crab not eat you? Why has this
I
never
must
been
say,
explained?
You come at
you
a
know?
very.
He's debeaked.
Alex has just installed
Oh,
the
right, his
final
crab
piece
is
for our
debeaked.
resurrected teleport.
I can't take any credit for the breakthrough, Doctor.
It's like the football,
Your talent
except you have all the
surpassed
teeth
your
taken out.
Look. He's a simp too.
Here? There you are. Man, Gordon, you stirred up the hive.
There's actually a lot to learn about from this section. Like the game opens with this like story element, and it allows you to like get introduced to all the characters.
Right, Barney.
It's like it's one of the qualities of Valve's programming where they don't start with combat, they start with story.
You mean it's working? For real this time?
Is especially we played the
I
episode
still
1.
have nightmares about that cat. No,
A lot of this will be
There's
familiar
nothing
to you.
to be nervous about.
Cat?
We've made major strides since then. Major strides.
What?
Although he's only a minor character in the
Doc,
first game.
since he's not taking the streets, you might as well get him out of his civvies. What? Oh dear, you're right. I almost forgot. Barney, I'll give you the honor. I've got to get back on my shit.
Sadly, there's no techno music when you put in the suit this time.
Here we go. Ah! Damn it, get it off me! Lamar, there you are. I thought you got rid of that pest. Certainly not. Never fear, Gordon.
Dude, this is my cat every day.
Completely harmless. What you might do is attempt to couple.
Bro, I found this out. Cats will actually, when you die, they'll
Get
just
that
like
thing
eat
away
you.
from me.
Yeah, they will.
Up.
It's just terrifying.
All right, I'm gonna head to my desktop. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Alright, go ahead,
Oh,
go.
fine. It'll be another week before I can coax her out of there. Yeah, longer if we're lucky.
Barney, you're not an animal person.
We're trying to longhouse us, Alex. We
I
don't
know
need
it.
any more of
Well,
that
Gordon,
here. This is
go
a
ahead.
boys' club.
Slip into your suit now.
Alright, I'll go and step into my suit.
Well, Gordon, I see your HEV suit still fits you like a glove. At least the glove parts do. I've made a few modifications, but I'll just acquaint you with the essentials.
Anyway, though, reintroducing. How are you doing today, Michael Paul? It's good to have you on the
Oh,
stream.
Man, I'm doing good. Pretty easy day today, except for it being 100-degree attic. So no, it was fine.
Time for this.
Meanwhile, let's get this show.
Yeah, especially considering that just that dysgenic, like total violinist specimen that got elected to be your new mayor.
Not my mayor. I don't live in Nashville. Absolutely not. That was, oh man, that guy is a specimen and a half. I mean, yeesh.
No, but it's like almost all of them are always specimens. Or look at physiognomy again. It's like, oh, it's so true. Physiognomy does determine like a lot about you.
Yeah, but then again, I'm not surprised at all that he was elected simply because, like if you go into Nashville and you go to like the Gulch or Germantown or anything like that, it's all bars with tranny flags. I mean, it's as Prague as you can get. It's bad.
That's not who I think it is.
Indeed, it is.
Oh, it's sad
It's our
too.
intention to send
I
you
imagine there's also a lot of
straight
hick
away
libs
in
there
company
as
of
well.
your lovely
Are you ready for us, Dad?
We're all set on this.
Well, it's not as bad as who's that guy that's running in Charlemagne State? Bussy. Yeah,
Oh,
it's not as
Montana,
bad.
yeah.
Yeah, in Montana, that's like 5,000% hick lib. Just yeesh. I'm pretty sure I saw a video. Let me try and find it. I probably got to tweet it of like the firearms industry was sick of that guy before he started getting involved in politics as well. The guy's like an absolute like evil bastard.
You gonna let Gordon throw the switch?
I bet he is. Almost all of these just dysgenic types. There's always something wrong with them. They're always degenerate. Like, literally, there's a one-to-one correlation between being a violinist, have type physiognomy, and like just being a terrible person generally.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why we've got it all figured out. I don't know that like that spectrum of analysis where it's just like you're getting a Twitter war on Twitter and you just go post physique, bro, and then they do and they think they're hard but they look like a soy skeleton. It's like, oh man, dude, that looks so bad. Why'd you even post?
Take all the credit.
It's so weird. Now you have two types of bodies, online. You have the ectomorph, giant, it's just giants,
I can see your
and then you
MIT
have the
education really
endomorph,
pays for
who's this
itself.
tiny like
All right,
skeleton,
Barney.
basically.
Gee,
And
thanks.
those are the two main body
As
types
soon
in
as
the
your
year of
position,
2023.
we'll send you to Eli's.
You do have some healthy people, but they're in the minority. I know this is just like Zoomer physiognomy posting here, but like
Initialize.
most of my generation is definitely the endomorph body type.
Barney.
I don't know exactly why.
Good luck out there, Gordon.
Maybe it's
Yes,
genetic or
indeed.
something that has to
We're
do with
ready
all the
to
video
protect.
games
Bon voyage.
and like zero
Or
social interaction.
Or maybe there's
What the hell? What?
actually no, I couldn't tell you why. Actually, that's interesting. No, I didn't, because like definitely like with my age demographic, there's like an unhealthy mix of dudes who are just like 700 pounds, and then those who just they look like their bones are about to break just from standing up.
You're in here.
Yeah, I don't know why. I couldn't hypothesize why that's the case in your age demographic.
Yeah, it seems like genetics play a big role here because it's like either you'll just be super fat
Don't worry, Gordon.
in like my 600-pound life, documentary type. You're trying out to be on that show as you eat chicken nuggets again, or you're an endomorph and like you can just eat Taco Bell and McDonald's all day and never gain any weight. Those are the two body types.
Dude, wait, did you just counter signal nuggies, dude? Bro, nuggies are like don't counter signal the nuggies, bro.
No, I would never consider the nuggies. Listen, this is a cozy stream here. We're pro, nuggies 100%.
Speaking of which, dude, I might I know this is very soy of me, but I might Grubhub the nuggies. Let's go. Just to make it even more cozy.
Listen. There's a special type of Americana where you can just eat the nuggies, and like even if like you haven't eaten them in years, if you go back and try them, they taste the exact same.
Yeah,
I've
Yep.
tried it. Like it's literally so true.
they're a special level of bad where they never can get worse. Like everything else, like even the places that used to be like good, or my dad used to say it's what good food. It's not fast food. It's good food fast. Like Five Guys or something like that. Even that has gotten like way worse, and it's just like everything's like that. But the Nuggies, for some reason, they're static.
It probably has to do with like the pneumonia, just like absolute terrible quality chicken.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's mechanically. What are they
Mechanical
called?
separated, yeah.
Yeah, mechanically separated chicken.
Listen, we're not going to prove this fed type of behavior. You know, no face doxing on this stream. You know, we don't approve of that type of behavior. That's why we do the bunny hopping on this stream.
Can I ask you a favor there, bud? Can you change your mix to bring down the game audio just a tiny bit?
Yeah. Let me go ahead and do that. Just a second. Yes.
You're kind of getting drowned out.
Yeah, let me go ahead and hop over this fence. Go ahead and change that volume real quick, so it's not too loud. Moment. Just the music volume. Go ahead and drown that out a little bit.
No, the master volume. You were getting drowned out by the swings and stuff too.
Okay. Okay, that should have fixed it.
Oh yeah.
Help me! Stop! We didn't do anything!
Listen, we don't approve of this type of behavior here on this channel. No. None of this fed type of behavior is going to be tolerated here. Otherwise, you're going to get redacted. You know, that's.
Man,
you could do a lot of this game, imagining various scenarios that I have.
Dude, I'm watching this and I'm mentally preparing for myself for going to Memphis tomorrow. Oh no. My dad actually was like, "Hey, bring a pistol for me and your brother. We forgot. I forgot to bring him." And I was like, it made me giggle a little bit.
No, but that's what you have to do, honestly, at this point in America. It's too third world fied, especially in the cities. You know, thanks for staying next to barrels, gentlemen. This is the future police force, by the way. Level of competence is your average CP. You know, not very competent. We can look forward to that in the future. Let's go to get you out of my life.
Dude, you're quick with it. How many times have you played through this game?
Like 30 or 40 times, probably. I've done it a lot, actually. Let's go ahead and turn the flashlight.
Dude, you're dedicated, dude. The game I probably played the most, honestly, I know it's soy because it's just like a sports game or whatever, but it's Rocket League. That was like my jam for years.
Listen, you gotta be smarter than the average NPC. It's not very hard. They have the intelligence of like Lizzo, you know. They can't resist the tub of lard standing next to them, so this isn't very hard. We know this from Elite Theory. You know, you just have to be more organized.
Yeah, wait, who said that? Mosca? Mosca said
yeah, Mosca. The elites are always more organized than the peasants, which is why the elites will always win no matter what, you know. You know, no matter what you want to LARP with your guns, the organized minority will always rule over the disorganized majority.
Why are you subtweeting me like that, dude? I love LARPing with my guns. I love doing walkthroughs of my house.
No, I like the LARP as well. It's great. We appreciate the LARP.
Oh man,
this is the average quality of New York City water.
No,
was pretty accurate.
you see, that's funny you say that. I was just about to say, I have been doing probably weeks worth of work at a very, very ghetto college, and to work on the units, you basically have to lay down in filth water whenever they flood. And I'm like, oh man, this seems familiar.
Listen.
Guess those sirens are for you.
Is that
huh?
Evla they were trying to
Good thing you
hide?
found it.
Listen, you know.
Yeah, dude.
Are you guys babes? What are you trying to hide?
Combined reckoning has guns.
I know we're elite
We're just the lookout
kills
for the
here,
Underground
but
Railroad.
like Evla's
Main
on the
station's
front
right around the
left. So
corner.
what are you guys
That'll get you
listening
started on the
to?
right foot. Meanwhile, let my Vortigaunt friend here give you a jolt to get you going.
Yeah, I have Sour on.
They were listening to Blood Satellite for sure.
Be careful. We really can't afford.
These are the type of people who listen to a Dimes type podcast, you know?
Yeah,
This
for
is just the
sure.
vibe I get, you know?
They're literally
Listen, we appreciate a Dimes, you know?
Dude, I've been a steady Judas appreciator here lately. He what was it? I think it was like 2 episodes ago. They got in a little bit of a tiff back and forth about modern monetary theory. It was great. And Judas was just like, no, this is I can't say what he said, but you know, he was like, no, this is an evil ploy. It's terrible and all that stuff. And I'm like, yes, Judas, go off, King.
Guys, we found Vouch. No way. Listen. Listen.
Hey, Luther.
We found the modern bread tubers, guys. They're just like barnacles. You know?
Hey, Luth Emplar's back. Here, I'm gonna step out and smoke one real quick.
All right, you go ahead and do that. I'll go ahead and add into the stream real quick. But it's good to have you back on the stream.
Hello, I'm now on my Ultra Elite VR headset.
Shit killed my friend. Listen, we don't appreciate when you kill friends here, Seekers.
It's fine. I just finished my cigar and he's out to smoke his cigs. Well, here we have the Underground Railroad, which was I think a bit of
I love the sound of the machine gun, by the way. It's great.
Yeah, I hate this pistol that you're using. This is like the worst game. I hate the pistol in this version. This part of the game, it's just so useless. You can't do anything.
It is, but it makes sense because you're just starting out. So for the story, it makes sense, even though the gameplay sucks and it becomes more useless as the game goes by. I will not comply. Oh, it's time to get out of here. You know, our good friend, Mr. APC is back.
So, this part through root canal gets a bad rep for being too long, but I really feel like spending this amount of time in the industrial sectors of City 17 are like necessary to create the environment. Of course, it gets a little comical. Like if there are this many cops dying in the center of a city, you'd think like a little bit more cops would show up.
I'm gonna stay here in case any others come through.
By the way, there's a funny thing. Almost any NPC you meet here, if you go back to see them later on, they're dead. Like if you go back right now, she's probably dead. Oh, now you can't go back. You hit a part where you can't go back anymore. Any NPC you find here alive, if you go back to them, they're dead. They get killed off screen. And that's basically a save RAM.
You know. I like take out the opposition.
It's basically just a save RAM. Later on, if you want, I'll stream my shitty video game I'm making.
We need more based video games. You know,
I don't want to make a based video game. I just want to make a video game that doesn't suck.
Well, that's not hard when like Starfield is your main competition. You know,
Starfield seems. I'm over Todd. I'm a Todd hater now.
Listen, I will not comply.
Not just like he's a money grubber. Like, you want me to stop making shitty games? Stop buying them. Oh, well, screw you.
Listen, Dave, we understand you have to debate the bread tubers, the barnacles, we get it, you gotta debate them, but it doesn't change the fact they're still barnacles,
Social parasites. The barnacle is indeed the bread. The bread tuber. The bread tuber is indeed the barnacle. It just eats these like pasture buyers that aren't paying attention, and then just grows and breeds.
Well, yeah, and it thrives off modern consumer identity, which is just like gay cape shit. You know what I mean? That's the modern identity of the average bread tuber.
I'm gonna try to close Steam without closing Steam VR. Let me see if this works. Steam is such a memory hog these days. Everything is.
Yeah, because they can't design anything anymore without designing 4K textures.
I know, right? You can have a good game with low textures. A good example of that is Dishonored. Dishonored 1 has like some of the worst textures I've ever seen in a game, but the gameplay is fun and the story is interesting. So you kind of just like phase out noticing the shitty textures. Fun fact: Dishonored is considered like something of a spiritual successor to Half-Life because a lot of the people in Valve who got tired of doing nothing moved over to Arcane to work on Dishonored. Of course, a lot of them ended up becoming like trans and stuff. So now they're like kind of their brains are cooked. But I still love the Dishonored series just as an example of how to do a good game with shitty graphics.
Yeah, you could definitely make a good game with shitty graphics because I think as we've seen with modern video games, with budgets of like billions of dollars.
Well, I mean, just look at Valheim with their aestheticized PS2 graphics. I mean, I love Valheim.
Yeah, Valve never fails basically because the competent people still there just don't let anything get out.
They're definitely very competent at what they do. I will say that, even though they take forever at doing anything.
The reason why they take forever is kind of funny. It's basically like they have like dozens of games that just they stop caring about, and then eventually someone picks them up and finishes them, and it ends up being like a winner. But they could have like done it like a decade earlier, but they just didn't.
Listen, we don't need any more bread tube dates, barnacles. We just destroy them with barrels. That's the solution, I think. That's what I would tell Dave if he was here about barnacles.
I hate this helicopter. I love and hate this helicopter. It's so well scripted, but it's also like just get off my back.
It's a massive pain in the ass.
Yeah. It's designed to make you mad, and this is like part of the level design where like make the player so angry that they just stop sitting around and like go get out, basically do something with their life. Like this entire like part of the game is basically designed to make you angry.
Civil protection is on to us. We're tearing up the railroad, covering our tracks. Looks like you're going to be.
But you're not doing a good job because they're just destroying you. BTFO.
Yes. Sounds like they're calling in a receipt.
Did you guys hear the story about the ADL unleashing some AIs into PlayStation consoles through a backdoor to spy on Americans? You guys hear about this?
Who knows? Who knows? I don't buy anything that was made after like 2017. I haven't bought a new game in like ages.
Are they doing that? Are they doing it through the PS5 or what?
Here, I'm reading through the article right now, but it's from a shyster website, so take it or leave it. 1 second.
I just tell people don't buy new games. Like make your own games or play old games. Don't buy new games.
Because modern games just have this like mundaneness to them, even when they're not like brazen with propaganda, which they obviously have to now. so insanely boring. Like, it's hard to explain this. Like somebody
Oh, it's very easy.
who's never
It's
played
like
like a good game ever for in their life.
you know, you see those YouTube ads for like shitty games, and like they think, oh, the player just wants to sit and press buttons all day long. No, there has to be a little bit of mental activity. Like the game I'm working on, it's like borrowing a lot from like Half-Life and Dishonored's like function systems, basically, not like plot or anything. But like I'm finding that like the easiest part really is to design the systems, and then you have to actually make a plot, make the systems interesting. But nowadays people are just like, oh, fancy graphics. Oh, like here's this like a software from like 40 years ago that we're gonna call new again. Like remember the infamous fish in Call of Duty?
Oh yes, yes, this famous fish who looks
Yeah,
at you.
based off the program from like literally 40 years ago.
Didn't they literally like advertise that feature?
Yeah, like the fish will follow, will
like
react to your presence.
Super Mario 64. I love that
Yeah.
meme by the way. And they had like fish that would look at you.
Yeah, it's nothing new. Really.
We're gonna
It's
take
like,
a breath here because we're dealing with.
I love the music in this game. It's just like I'm gonna like just squeal over all the music that you play.
Oh, I've listened to the soundtrack of this game, like just doing stuff like writing essays. It helps.
Yeah, I listen to
it's
this music. This is like my workout music, basically.
Lutemplar, you're not making your game in Unity, right? You don't want to get trolled.
I like Godot. Unity is like abandoned, basically.
Yeah, especially now since they're doing that pay per installs deal. That's going to be hilarious when they drop that.
I don't know what they're doing, but like this, it's like such a dead platform.
It's not completed. We'll find some more soon from this dead guy over here. No, but have you seen those like leaked earlier images of what this like level is kind of supposed to be? It's supposed to be all like, polluted and like industrial looking, right?
Yeah.
It was kind of more going into the vibes of the canals later on in the game, where it's supposed to show they pollute the world, right, for resources or whatever.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a lot more darker. The atmosphere.
And they have child labor, right?
Yeah.
Although at the same time, children do need to work, so I mean, is child labor really that bad? Now, if they're working for a good cause, earning that minimum wage, it's not really that bad. I think, really.
Yeah, there are a lot of I think there were like legal reasons they had to get rid of the children from the game.
Does that have something to do with the game's ratings or something?
Yeah, you can't have like child in slavery and expect the game to get a good rating. I hate these little bastards.
This game would be perfect for many mods you could do.
Yeah.
With like
the mods are what allow this game to have a life of its own. Really.
The mods like help to continue on the life of the game. Because you can do a lot with this engine. It's very you stop
it's still used. Like there are still games released on Source Engine, like that one I mentioned before, the mod like something zero. I forget what it's called. Do you remember? Here's another great soundtrack right here. I love this song. There's like the random guy that just coughs in the background.
Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, it's just some random guy coughing. A lot of the music was made by a guy named Haley Bailey or something, and
Oh yeah,
he still
Caleb Bailey, yes.
yeah, he does. There's a lot of his music still on SoundCloud that I listen to. It's pretty good.
He does
He's
some good
kind of like
work.
yeah, but he hasn't really done a lot recently. I think he's technically retired now, but he did some. I still can't figure out how he did the binaural music that you have later on in the bridge level. 'Cause I've tried to replicate it, and I just never been able to. I'm not good with synth music, but whatever.
Oh yeah, that song that plays. It's like I forgot what they call it. It's amazing. I'm getting lost here, even though I played this game like hundreds of times. Listen, that's part of the joy of this stream here is that you make mistakes. And that there's no pride music anywhere in this game whatsoever. There's no
What
BLM.
Oh, yeah.
No gay modern music. It's all great music.
I love industrial punk music like that. It's very meditative to me.
Where am I supposed to go again in this game?
Yeah, a lot of people get lost in this part. One of the criticisms of this level is that it's like so easy to get lost.
I especially like the latter half of this game. It's almost perfect. It combines the right amount of like combat with puzzles too, which is what I like about this game. Actually, you do use your brain a little bit. There's a little bit. It's not a lot, but compared to what average games do now, where it's complete, dopamine stimulation.
Yeah.
There's no puzzle element to it. It's worlds ahead in that way, I would say.
There's a lot of quality in like the level design here that you can learn from to make a good level. Just like the way in which it's like broken up into like different phases of how you like learn a system. Like you don't have to take any.
Video game developers and engineers are so right wing disproportionately to the average population.
Well, I don't know if they're all right. I don't know if they're right wing, but they are.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to find that chart because especially now, I don't think that's true. But someone had done a political leaning study based on profession. Let me see if I can't find that chart. This is actually very interesting.
Games are pretty like even the programmers are left wing now. It's kind of like just like brain rot.
Well, yeah, now because if you go to like college today, and at one point I actually tried to do this, they become a video game developer. It just is like pure Bugman cringe.
Yeah,
absolutely, all the way down. There's almost no redeeming thing about it. It's just pure propaganda.
There's just no love in it anymore.
Yeah, it feels like the art form. I don't know. Good games have a certain like prestige about them that I like as an art form, but they're not like high art. I wouldn't say that either. There's only so many things.
I think they can be, but the people that make games just
they're not capable of doing that basically anymore.
A lot of times they'll just rip off or copy like the format of another game. Like Fallout hasn't made a new map since like Fallout 3. Not Fallout. Sorry, Far Cry.
Oh yeah, I love the meme about Far Cry, right, where it's just like a tower and you activate the maps, so you go collect some bullshit item to reveal more parts of the map. But listen, I will say your meme on Twitter was really great about Dave.
What meme?
With Far Cry 3.
I don't remember. Oh, Dave. Yeah. That was.
Yeah, the definition of insanity.
There are people that want me to make Dave's Shrek video.
Listen, I will use like AI to create the Shrek video. We're going to get the Shrek video no matter what. played this game so much, I know where all the tidy spots are. Goodies.
Right now, I'm in Blender designing a few levels for that game.
Hey, you're Freeman, aren't you?
Yes.
I got word you were coming. You got here at a bad time.
They're showing us!
From the you're about to start root canal now. I don't like this particular part of the game. It just kind of like transitions to the next level really abruptly. Like you come to the end of the sewer, oh, it's time to go on a boat. I feel like that could have been a little bit more spaced out elements here to like introduce you to these characters so that this shelling attack was more like shocking or something.
It could, but I think Ravenholm does it better.
You don't get new characters in Ravenholm. You get like one character that shows up and never shows up again.
Oh yes, but he's one of the best characters.
Fun fact: Ravenholm is the cause of Dishonored. Do you know that?
Hey, Dr. Freeman. I've been hoping
Yeah, that
to
would
show
make
up.
sense because
Got
there's
the
so many
demo,
concepts in that
ready to
level.
go.
They're just
Well,
timeless.
Arcane originally was going to make a standalone game for Father Grigori, where he would slowly turn into like a zombie, and that game got canceled. But the systems in there got reintegrated into Dishonored. Arcane made their own title, and then they hired in Victor Antonov, the art director for Half-Life. They hired him to do Dishonored. That's why Dishonored has a combined feel to it because it's the same art director. Arcane and Valve are kind of like sibling organizations at this point. They've traded so much talent between each other. Unfortunately, both Arcane and Valve are kind of like all their good talent left. I don't think there'll ever be another Dishonored or another like decent Half-Life, unfortunately.
Wait, didn't the guy who have to finish the story for us, right? With like that post a couple years back.
That was
I forget what his name was, but
Longbard or something.
Something like that, right? The guy who originally wrote the story, because like the meme says nothing ever happens, and literally nothing was ever happening.
Everybody was so hopeful that everyone was so hopeful that Valve was like turning a new leaf, and then it just went nowhere. 3 years later, no more Half-Life.
Right? Listen, we follow the breadcrumbs enough, guys. I think it's time to put away the breadcrumbs.
Yeah. It's a bit tragic, but I feel like Half-Life should die because it's like only a generation worthy to make a Half-Life game will make another Half-Life game.
Yeah. That's so true. We're not even a society worth having Half-Life 3. We're at that point of degeneracy in the cycle.
There will be a Half-Life 3 when we are worthy again for it.
I'm just glad that Valve is still doing all the dev work for like Linux gaming to actually be good now with Proton and all that stuff.
Yeah?
Because I would die. I would die without Proton, dude.
What is Proton? Is that like the?
Is that Proton?
No. Proton is the compatibility layer that it was based on. Lutris or no, I'm trying to remember what it was based on, but it was a previously existing project that Valve took over, and now they run the show, and you can actually get hot fixes like basically day of release for games and stuff. Now it's awesome.
Nice.
I know they have like a simulator with Linux. It's called like Wine something, where you can play Windows games, but.
Yeah, WineFix, I think, was the original, because there was a weird crossover area, and that's where I was switching. I thought I was never going to game again because I was like, I care about the software I run, so I'm just going to grow up and give up gaming. And then Valve pulled me back in with but it was WineFix, and then it was Lutris, and then there was probably another one somewhere in there, and then Proton came out.
Yeah, I think the last game that I played, the last game that I bought was probably Deathloop, because it was like an unofficial sequel to Dishonored. And that was a fun game, but it was also kind of like it was a one-off thing where they probably won't expand on it anytime soon.
You have a lot of those games in the early 2000s where they're really good and they introduce interesting concepts, but they just don't make any of them anymore. And they just like stop after one of them.
Yeah,
Like,
which is
games
sad.
like,
But
there's a couple of examples of these, and they're kind of tragic in a sense, but I don't know. There's just something about the energy of the early 2000s that you just can't replicate anymore. This is impossible.
Yeah, well, a lot of those guys, like, if they didn't tune out, they drugged out, and if they didn't drug out, they just died.
Or they retired, you know.
Yeah. After I get my architecture license, I'll try to make a proper game, but for now, it's just a pastime.
Your current game project is in Godot, right?
Yeah, I'll show it to you sometime later on if you want to like take a break from Half-Life. I'll stream it. It's nothing much.
Do that.
It's not much. I haven't done anything graphical. It's all just like systems and representations with like simple boxes, but you can kind of get a sense of like how it works. I also have a VR prototype somewhere that I did during COVID. I did that in Unreal, and then I redid it in Godot. I like Unreal, but Unreal is just like it's too finagled.
It's overrated to me, honestly.
Well, it's very easy to get into, but it's also like if you don't know how to program, it's kind of like hard to understand anything other than the basics. Godot.
Oh, we got the grenades. That's my favorite.
Oh yeah, the weird grenades that are like no grenade in real life uses this system. They're like the models for a smoke grenade, but it's actually an explosive. You know, a lot of the models in Half-Life, they're like mismatched because it was originally something else. And model. Like, if you notice, you can shoot a grenade from this gun, but there's no grenade launcher on it, right?
It does. It's sort of like that chainsaw attachment, you know? Whatever the meme where you attach the chainsaw to your AR-15.
Well, like a lot of models in Half-Life, they just like after the leak, they rapidly changed the game, but they didn't make the models for the changes. So like the SMG has no grenade launcher, even though it can throw grenades. The grenades, the model is a smoke grenade, but it's an explosive. The AR-2 doesn't actually like shoot correctly if you look at it, and then when you get it one, like all the models are like mismatched and the systems are broken, but it still works. It's fun. You know, in your head canon, it must be a really small grenade or something. Everyone always makes
Valve physics.
Yeah.
All of those Valve physics there. And he's dead.
Having pomegranate juice right now.
See, when your elites decline, they hire less competent people. That's what you have here. The decline is very
unfortunately, when you speak while shooting, I can't hear a word you're saying.
Okay, I'm going to turn this volume down so you can actually hear what I'm saying. Where's the game? Okay, we can turn that down a little bit. Okay, now it shouldn't be too loud.
There we go.
See, this will be America's infrastructure in the year 2035. Just wait.
More like 2025 at this rate.
Oh yeah, we're accelerating.
That's funny because they still have electrical made to all these things. It's like I doubt we'll even have 120 volts made to most circuits in America in like next month.
It's all over. It's so over.
Yeah, I was reading this article actually about South Africa. South Africa's water infrastructure because they're always having like a water crisis, over there. And the main thesis of that article was just like the infrastructure was like the average age was 20 or 35 years old, and it was rated like F in terms of quality because it's all falling apart. There's like so many leaks in the system, and you're losing more water because of the crap system. And there just isn't like the competent people who know how to even maintain these things anymore. So everything just falls apart and it decays in front of your eyes.
any such cases.
Grab some more of those fun grenades. You know. You can learn a lot from this game if you're like designing how to design like sounds that are pleasing to the ear. If you get that, if you get that part right, you're pretty much golden, honestly. Because of how autistic people are in the year 2023, I think. Like you got to get that autism market cornered, really. I think you're gonna do the video
You have
games
to,
thing.
you have the autism max.
You know. You got to do the lore, which is why Warhammer 40k is so popular.
I never got into. I never got into 40k. I don't
I never
really
did
understand.
either. It seems more of like a millennial thing. To me, that's what I've been told.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it.
You know, gotta love those battle physics. Anyway, back to the train of thought here as we run over the new vanguards of the current elite system.
Do a kickflip. Do a kickflip.
I try, but like I don't know. I have done it before. If you
Wait,
time the rocket and a flip, you can like fly into the sky. I've done it before in this game. I just don't have the patience for that kind of stuff.
You guys
I think
remember
episode 1 though has a cool vibe to it. I really like the hospital section. It's like a horror kind of game ish.
Which game?
Episode 1.
Oh yeah. That
I like the
was
hospital
one-
section. It's really interesting.
My first introduction to Half-Life was the orange box, so that was
This is
really-
how I
no,
got it.
think-
Actually, I bought the orange box. It was only like $3.
Yeah, dude, the orange box was so sick, dude. Oh man, take me back.
I wasn't
take me
there
back.
during the OG days, you know, when everybody was talking about it. I hopped on the bandwagon years later because it was like $4 or something, and I just got my PC.
I'm still using the PC I built in like 2016.
This one's from 2018, actually. My grandfather gave it to me.
Nice. I haven't had like a serious need to upgrade my hardware. Like I don't buy new games, so I don't.
Oh,
really need
boys,
it.
we're about to get the big boy revolver here. You know.
Let's go.
No, listen, we don't care what the elites have to say or their enforcers. We're just gonna, you know, redact them. That's the point with this boy. The sound of this thing, you know, honestly, if you don't own this game, buy it just for the sound of this thing. It just is. Oh, wait, it's perfect. This is the perfect sound. It's just this revolver right here. It is really great. Truly, you know, sound prawn right here with this thing. Even though that term is very cringe. This thing is just great.
It's an 88 Magnum.
What did I call it before? I think it said it was. Oh yeah, it is a Magnum 14.
No, I think the label in game is 357, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I think that's what the textures say for the ammunition. But it's like a hand cannon.
Yeah, my one of my roommates, he just inherited a. He's got a little 38 special. What is it? It's not Colt New Police. Yeah, it is a Colt. I think it's Colt New Police. And dude, that thing is a dream, dude. A good wheel gun, like you really can't beat a smooth shooting wheel gun, dude. They're great.
No, I actually own a Colt 44 long, and that thing will like breathe fire when you shoot it.
I'm a gun virgin. I don't own any.
Oh, dude,
that's because you live in. That's because you live in the Communist Republic of New York, man.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
All right.
I kind of refuse to get any because I don't want any reason to have law enforcement hate me, even if it is legal.
And we're just gonna
sucker
get
on
this
that
kind
one.
of So screw off here. Listen, James Lindsay, we don't need to hear your like 6,000 points on here to your wokeness again. I think we're done with this argument. This isn't 2018 anymore, so you can go screw off. We don't need to hear your 8,000 points on your wokeness again. Just don't need it anymore.
Still don't understand how
For
that
sure.
guy has any influence.
I don't either. It boggles the mind, quite frankly. It actually made
Relic
me
for-
more of an elitist because I just view people. There's the average person probably thinks James Lindsay is intelligent. At least a certain subset of people do, and that's enough to say they are like natural slaves. Honestly, like it's so true though. Some people are just natural slaves. They need to be
James
ruled, and
Lindsay
that's
is,
okay.
My
James
roommates,
Lindsay is
my roommates for sure.
Don't insult your roommates when they're there.
Oh shit! They're bringing the fun balls here now. I have to dodge those, unfortunately. I think.
All right, guys, the tendies are delivered. We are gonna turn.
shit.
We're gonna turn this into Contra Gentiles with chewing noises.
Oh no. ASMR.
Oh, is it McDonald's tendies? Did you do it right this time, man?
No. I went with God's chicken. I changed my mind.
Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, of course. Even though it's got Sneed oils in it, which that really bums me out. But it's God's chicken.
Now they're woke now.
Well, so that's the thing. I can't really. That's doxing. But I worked at a place where I got an inside look at the financials of Chick-fil-A and their philanthropic stuff. They're actually not that bad. They only gave to, I think, 1 or 2 Prague NGOs, but then they stopped and they optics cucked once. So it really wasn't that bad,
We'll see.
all in all. Well, I mean, they're gonna get worse as they get bigger, but they are the new ownership is dedicated to not going public, which that would be the number one way to turn them progressive faster. So I don't know. I still have some hope.
It's delay tactics for the inevitable humiliation.
Well, yeah. What's that term
ceremony.
we always like to use? Anything that's not inevitably right wing will become left wing over time. But what's that part of the
Conquest
law?
law.
Yeah, Robert
Conquest
Law
law.
of Conquest. It's the same thing with Chick-fil-A. Even though I do love their chicken, like they're getting more woke. Honestly, it's quite obvious that they are. Every time I go by there, it's like all women now. For some reason, I don't know why.
You need those tax breaks, man.
Bruh, I will be longhoused. I will submit to the longhouse for some busted ass chicken, dude. I'm sorry.
Well, maybe for the right price. We'll have to see about that. But it was actually funny because I worked at Chick-fil-A for a brief period of time, and it was a brand new one. So I got trained by this like guy who they brought in from corporate, and he was like an open homosexual. So
Well, the southern homosexuals have class at least.
no, he wasn't a southern homosexual. This guy was like a New York or like a Midwestern homosexual. He was not a southern guy. I will tell you that right off the bat.
Not a Lindsey Graham.
No. I guess that's better.
Oh, by the way, like, when is that guy going to come out of the closet?
When Tim Scott proposes to him. He's still waiting on that, I think.
Is Tim Scott running for president yet, or is he just like waiting this one out?
I think he's like trying to get more NGO money and like Republican donor money first before he drops out. But I think he is still running.
Drops out or drops in? Is Tim
Drops
Scott
out.
still running?
Oh
he's
yeah,
still
he is.
running.
He's going to be in the second debate.
Oh, boy.
For some reason, of course.
Debate.
Yeah,
He'll make a
debate.
good he'll make a good like secretary of something, but I don't know. I see.
Secretary.
I'm more interested in this ADL civil war because I think that's one of the metrics to keep Biden out. Like if you want to keep Biden out, just get your favorite tribe to oust him for you.
That could work actually.
I'm
very interested
all,
to see.
all the groypers are like, oh, Elon's a sellout. He's talking to Netanyahu. I'm like, no, it's a good thing he's talking to Netanyahu because they're probably plotting how to get rid of Biden.
I mean, probably that makes more sense, honestly, in the year 2023.
I've been telling people this like Netanyahu, he doesn't forgive and he doesn't forget. He knows who caused that killer revolution that ousted him for a few months. He's got his eyes on punishing Biden, and if he can ally with name Musk, then you'll see some interesting stuff.
I guess that is true. The guy understands power and politics very well. We'll give him that. And he likes being in power, which is respectable.
I can respect him. You know, I might not have many common grounds with Benjamin Netanyahu, but you know, enemy of my enemy and all that.
I guess. Honestly, I would take like a bucket of ice cream over Joe Biden at this point. The only reason, because obviously the bucket of ice cream would still push for progressive the gay
Did
slog.
somebody say ice cream?
You
Ice
know?
cream.
Listen, like honestly, at this point, you know, forget the whole thing where we actually pretend politics is serious. Like,
Hasn't
we'll
been
just have a
serious for a
tub of
long
ice
time.
cream running, like at this point, because at least at that point, the charade is over. You know, like it's just obvious.
Just
You
get
know,
the horse. We just need a horse for a governor, and we're full Roman Empire, and then
yes, because people stop coping, pretending that it's real. Honestly,
You joke. There was a town that elected a dog for mayor. I think.
yeah, but like
Let me find
that
it.
was a joke. That was a joke. Nero was completely serious when he did it.
Fair enough.
I love how like people don't talk about like Caligula, like how he named the Roman Empire like Caligula for a brief period of time. He just named the whole empire after himself. It kind of reminds me of Trump in a sense.
It's gonna be great. It's the greatest name. It's my name.
I'm gonna make Rome great again. All right, Vortigons. You know, let's get this going. All right, come on, Curtis Yarvin. Let's go. Let's go. I want to read. You know, I want to read
The Dark
open
Elf.
letter,
The
you know. Yes, let's
Vortigons
go,
really
come
are
on.
the Vortigons saw the Dark Elf.
Listen, yeah, let's discuss open letter to an open progressive. You know, let's discuss. It's gay and irrelevant in the year 2023, so that's what we know.
I regret never reading too much into Yarvin when I was young.
Here's the dam. It's just up ahead.
I'm one of those people who's never read open letter ever.
Neither I. Like,
I've never read. I've actually never read any of his work at all.
Based. Based retard.
I feel like Dave popularized him for some reason. I don't know why, because he made that video a couple years ago.
Yeah, he's responsible for making him mainstream, basically.
He is though. Like Dave is, even though we love Dave, you know, obviously, but
I don't know.
I don't hate him. Like,
I don't know.
All right,
I was just gonna say, I don't know if that's necessarily true because like a lot of people attribute like the first as in second breakout of the blogosphere in Yarvin with Nick Land starting to talk about it because he was actually still like had some mode of like cultural in somehow. At least that's what I've heard from a lot of people that do the history of it.
Listen, James Lindsay, stop it with your 6,000 points to wokeness. We've heard this already. Like, man, like this guy just doesn't go away.
Ooh. I think I finished I'm trying to do a sewer level in Blender for this game, and I'm really bad at 3-dimensional thinking.
Man, I finally got blocked by James Lindsay. It was the happiest day of my life. And so I've been subtweeting.
Congratulations, man.
Dude, I've been subtweeting behind the block and like I posted a picture of some skate shoes and said my POV when I'm about to do a kickflip on James Lindsay after Elon gets rid of blocks. I was like, oh yeah.
I mean, like the high IQ move is to leave a comment and then immediately block someone so they don't know you left the comment and they just get they actually they can't. I think one of the flukes about Twitter I've noticed that once you block someone, they can't hide your reply. So the high IQ move is to leave a comment on a progressive Twitter and then just block them so they can't hide your reply, and then just watch as they get angry at you because like all the reply tweets, but they can't hide your reply. So eventually they'll block you. It is still possible to block someone who's blocked you, but it's very fun when they can't hide your tweet, hide your reply.
Yeah, we gotta love Twitter, even though Twitter is a cancer. It has produced.
At least it's entering terminal. It is entering terminal phase.
I don't know. Twitter's reaching a phase in its existence where, like, kind of the magic is worn off. I think.
Yeah,
by a large degree.
It's so over.
It is though. Like Elon kind of brought the magic back of 2015 and 2018 on Twitter, even though I didn't use Twitter during that period of time. But like, I don't know. It just feels kind of short-lived. It kind of brought the high back.
It's so over.
It's kind of the same with 4chan because like I wasn't an old head Channer guy, but like I started using it in college, like you know, and kind of lurking on the boards, like I don't know, like right at the end of the heyday when it really started getting like botted and all the Jannies like became Tranissaries and stuff like that. So same thing with Twitter. I jump onto Twitter and actually like get in the scene right as Twitter is like kind of coming back, but it's like a death throw. It's like I'm always late to everything, man.
It's fine. You're not losing anything. Twitter. It's actually a good thing if Twitter dies because it means
I think it's
like,
a good thing for society. Honestly, it's just if Twitter dies, it's just better.
It is the unofficial propaganda bureau for the United States, and now it's been captured, so they kind of want it to die. But
I mean, if he's cooperating though, like, is he really their enemy? Well, no,
he's not. He's not really. I mean, there's more than two factions in this.
So my gun has more ammo than your gun, so I'm going to beat you. My button is bigger than your button. You know, to quote our man Donald. You know, my button is bigger than your button, and it probably works. Unlike your button.
Did you see that? Did you see? I'm reading on Twitter how Rishi Sunak is banning pit bulls in Britain, right?
Yes, I saw this.
No, this is like cringe. This is like, listen.
But this is like a white women thing.
This is Rishi Sunak warning the African American community of Great Britain to not mess with his people. Like pit bulls today, tomorrow you. It's not hard to connect the dots. You know, the British Africans started attacking the South Asians, and so Rishi Sunak is like, I'm going to ban your like animal spirit, and next will be you if you don't calm down.
That is the thing about Indians in general, is that even though their culture is shit, like literally, and they shit everywhere.
I don't like. Okay, that's a joke, but like that's really only the low classes of India. India has like, you know, they're not a 4,000-year-old civilization because they shit everywhere, right?
But they do shit a lot.
You have to view Indians in the. What's their role?
Oh shit, James Lindsay coming for us, boys. No, he's trying to come at us with our, his 8,000 points again. We're gonna have to destroy him.
Well, he's about to release his 8,000 points. Remember?
Is he actually gonna do it? When is he gonna do that? Listen, Dave's gonna have to respond to that.
No, in the Anglo Imperium, the Indian has always been the like administrator / warrior, the Kachucha class. Like the British Empire only cared about the two upper classes of India, and to this day, everywhere that the British Empire was, you have a population of like Indian managers and Indian warriors, and they kind of like take care of the colonial assets. Like if you go to South Africa, the most tight knit communities other than the Boers or the like Indian.
Oh yeah, Indians, yeah.
And they're like the only thing the Boers and the Indians, the only thing holding South Africa together at this point.
Well, they're the only like productive classes of society.
Well, that's what you get with 4,000 years of class distinction. But, here we go. He's releasing his 9,000 points.
Guys, it's happening. Listen, the plan to defeat liberalism is here. Wokeness.
I will say I do actually very much like Indian film. Like there was this Hollywood film called RRR that was released recently.
Oh shit! The Civil Rights Act defeated him again. It's
Oh,
over, boys.
no.
It's over. Civil
And-
Rights Act defeated him.
It is a totally unabashed Hindu like ultra nationalist film, and I'm like, yo, I'm kind of feeling like Hindu nationalist now. This is great. I love all sorts of nationalism.
I would respect them more if they weren't so like vehemently anti-Christian, and they're kind of very like
They're
on the-
brutal.
very brutal.
They are very brutal people, and so I'm hoping that eventually they'll come to Christ. But
Yes.
no, I mean, like I do have a respect for the Indian culture. The lower castes have always been, mass shitters, but the upper castes have typically been like, you don't build a 4,000-year-old civilization off of your lowest caste.
Well, nobody does. They're just the slave class and like the people who clean the shit off the streets, right? And I agree with that, honestly. There is just a class of people who just like they should just clean the shit off the streets. That's all they're really good at, quite frankly.
I
you gotta
mean,
meet those people. Too.
India is hitting a. India is because like they're a billion people country with like a massive economy. Years ago I was always saying America needs India if it wants to face China and Russia, because India is like your third party that makes an actual powerful empire, and America just shit the bed on that with like just fuck India. So of course they're going to BRICS. Why would they waste their time with America they're not gonna get any respect from them? And it's a really in the grand scheme of things, great. The global like shit empire is falling apart. Yeah, they're losing a major partner. I'm not convinced that this American project can survive without India, because that's just like a billion strong nation that you can use to counter China with. America can't face India, Russia, and China all together against you. It's like half the planet against you.
I know. It's so insane. Like our woke elites are like, you would think they would understand this, but they're too incompetent. They're just too incompetent in running the empire. They're too incompetent.
That's why, like a lot of times, like I am starting to buy the strategy of just riding the tiger until it starts falling apart.
They're just too stupid, quite frankly.
Like this low IQ leadership cannot run an empire longer than 10 years. I think if we really view the like late Obama era as like the start of this empire, kind of like the formalization of it, we're about about 12 years, maybe 15 years into that regime, and it's already falling apart really badly.
It's falling apart almost as bad as Mr. Elitist gameplay. Come on, dude, get it together.
I used to be able to do this part
There
no problem, but like I'm probably part of the boat anyway. Listen, the airboat. Not my favorite part of the game.
James Lindsay's counterpoints must have counterbalanced you a bit.
I don't think anything can counterbalance stupidity.
Skill issue.
Shit. Shit.
Don't you have to open the dam?
No, I already did that. I have to climb over the bridge.
So you just suck, okay?
No, I don't suck. I just suck for this stream. Anyway, though, I think you're right, though. Because, like, any competent regime, and I'll give Obama credit for this. Like, Obama, even though he was a skin suit, at least the bureaucrats running the Obama stream were competent. You can't not.
I mean, like
they were competent, at least. They were not just like insanely retarded, like Biden.
You can
even
think
though he has a lot
like,
of the Obama people.
You can think of like people like Lenin-ish being like, that regime started with the idea of like, workers united and equality and all that stuff. And then you get to Stalin like 15 years later, and he's like, this isn't working. I'm going to go back to hierarchy. We're in the Lenin phase of a global empire, which means that they're really, really, really trying to push their like ideological purities, and it just keeps falling apart because reality isn't aligned with their like ideals. Which means you kind of need a blue Caesar to like fix this shit. And there's just none. There's no blue Caesar.
Yeah, I know. I don't think the memes, about Governor Newsom are pretty accurate. I don't think he's the blue Caesar that every time.
No, I mean he's just a pretty boy. He can
yeah.
like
he gets the white women to vote for him.
Like in history, competent global empires recognize like the biodiversity of the people that make up their empire, and they task those tribes to do different things. Like the Ottoman Empire knew, like, the Egyptians are good at that, the Christian Greek are good at that, the Turks are good at this and that, and then they would like task these different tribes to run different parts of their empire, and you'd have like a spoil system to benefit it, and it would work. And the British Empire did the same thing, where like the Englishmen ran the finances, the Scottish ran the berserker warriors, the Indians were more managerial elite, and then the different elements of culture that had different specialties ran different parts of the empire. This empire thinks, oh, every person is just a cog in a machine, replaceable with anyone new, and that just doesn't work. It's falling apart. A blue Caesar would be someone who would drop the equality bullshit and be like, okay, this group is good at that group is good at this. We're going to task the different roles and divvy up the system. That's what a blue Caesar will do, which means that like you kind of know what a blue Caesar will be. It'll be someone who essentially rejects the idea of like people being born equal. They have to earn equality by like what task they're doing.
Yeah, but who in the Blue Party like actually has that as a prerequisite? Like all of them believe
it's starting.
Humans,
it's starting.
What? Who? I mean, because basically all of them, from my view, view all humans as interchangeable economic units that should be treated fairly via socialism or something like that.
Yeah, pretty
you
much.
Are not to shill my mayor, but Eric Adams has started going a little red pill on some issues. Although he's kind of just doing it for the voice clips. But I think let me put it this way: as the Mexicans and Cubans start voting more Republican because they're tired of the leftists, and as they get desperate to replace that Latin voting group with some left-wing group instead, like most of the
isn't this why the immigration changed to Asian, right?
No, right now the most amount of people crossing the border are Venezuelan because they're more left-wing. Like it's not an accident that they're trying to encourage Venezuelans to invade America because they vote left. The Mexicans and Cubans aren't reliable voters anymore, so they're trying to replace the Latin population with Venezuelans. That is an inkling of an idea that behind closed doors, they recognize different groups have different preferences. And although it's not public yet, different elements of that structure are recognizing the natural differences and starting to like task different groups to do different things. It'll take another decade before they start making it public, but it's going to come. By necessity, it will come.
This sounds like a dark, literally a Yarvin dark elf. Like they're gonna realize and they're gonna be so based and so red.
No, it will never be based. It will just be functional. Like you're not gonna get the 1960s America back. You'll get like 1980s America back, which like it still has half the country rotting away, but at least you have confident people managing the decline again.
Yeah.
Again, one of the things I keep telling like right wingers is like, you're not going to have this populist revolution. You're not going to have the government go back to favoring you. You are now just one ethnic group of many, and you have to earn your stay, unfortunately. And if you're not willing to do that, you're not willing to play the game, you're going to get cut out of power, and you're just going to cry about it.
It's time to start.
Constitution, guys.
Yeah.
I thought the divine inspiration of the Constitution was supposed to save us.
Average life expectancy is like 75 or something now, and the average boomer is like 68 or something. So 10 years from now, when the last of the boomers are gone, this boomer truth regime will no longer have any voice. They'll finally be gone. But
do you think they're the source of like the woke fundamentalists? Like, or do you think it's like them just like leaving the positions in the bureaucracy, right? Because I think I take more of that view. But the woke fundamentalists are in charge.
Woke is more a millennial thing, with the boomers just being hippies. The boomers just say yes to everything. They're kind of like useless. It's the woke stuff comes from millennials, and the millennials can't run shit. So once the boomers are gone and not letting them have any power, the millennials will just wash away with them. Like you can think of the millennials as this like parasitical caste to the boomers. And when the boomers are gone, the millennials will be gone too. At least so the cringe millennials. The Zoomers are still like completely lost, but the younger generation is kind of more over it. They're over this bullshit.
Well, yeah, because like I forgot where I heard this from, but somebody said it well, because Zoomers have never had like an era in time where liberalism was like looked pretty. It's just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
it's
just been
over.
decline, like since you were born. Like there's never been a point where like there was an era of like optimism and things were going great. You could like identify and support liberalism, which is why
I
there's this group of Gen Z who's just hardcore like right
Yeah.
wing, we'll say.
I point out, like, if you go back to the fall of the Soviet Union and you look at the people that were on the streets at the time, it's all like 40-year-old people. It's not like a youth revolution. And if you put your mind to it, that 40-year-old group of people that were in the streets in the 1990s, they were the people born in the 1950s and 60s. They were the people that knew nothing but decline after Stalin died. So they only knew decline, and they had had enough. So the people that will like bring down this system will be people that only knew decline and nothing else. They don't have any ancient history to look back on and desire it. They just are disgusted with what they see. So I think that might be ironically, I think that might be the Zoomers, but they have to go through years of being retarded first.
Well, yeah, they have to develop like social skills first. That's the big issue. And Zoomers are just inherently the most deracinated generation that has ever existed. Purely because we were raised on the internet
Yeah,
entirely.
and they'll pay the price.
Wait, you're
They'll pay the
telling
price
me
for
the
that.
generation that says bussin' and for real is the most deracinated in history? What?
They'll pay the price for it. You know, there's only
Well,
so
most
many
of them
years
are.
of
Like, if you look at the amount of them that are, like, sadly falling for the trans stuff, like, it is
they're
literally the
desperate.
genetic bottleneck.
There's only so many years of incredible, like, asocial behavior and abandonment that you can take as a person. And once that finally adds up, they'll just, you know, like the saying, the kid will burn down the village to watch it to get the heat. What's that saying?
Oh, okay. If you don't give man space in the village, they'll burn it down the village more. That's the saying.
Yeah, like that is going to be that generation. Like the Zoomers are going to probably be like that, where they'll like, well, this system has only lied to me, and now I'm like a freaking invalid, basically. And thing is, like at that point, it'll be so incompetent that the invalid just has to breathe on it, and it will wither and die, basically. But that'll take 20 years, so that's sad.
Means we're in for the fun times, boys. The fun times are not going to end. 50 more years of Joe Biden basically coming up, but worse, if you can believe that. I actually think Joe Biden will be regarded as one of the more competent ones of this new era of decline. He'll be regarded as one of the most competent, guaranteed. With the way things are
Unfortunately,
heading.
unfortunately,
Sad.
true.
He'll be regarded as one of the most competent people.
Dude, I can't
go.
wait until the Sigma grind set bros turn into the decline thrivers, you know, where they engage with like Kaczynski's power process, and they're like, yeah, I built a wood shack today to live in. Let's go, boys. That's gonna be pretty cool.
I am curious because like at this point the only way in which Trump wins is if the peripheral favors him, because it's always at the peripheral where these little vote nudges happen. You know, whose signatures get denied at the vote ballot, whose IDs get requested, whose votes disappear.
Who gets in the nursing home?
Yeah, in 2020 that was mostly run by like Democrats that were like, you know, high off of Trump derangement syndrome. But a lot of them have since started wondering, what the hell did I unleash? You know, if think of it this way, this is what I think the Dark Elf strategy is, if you will, Yarvin's Dark Elves. I think it is capture the ADL, contain the Southern Poverty Law Center, and essentially like choke the bad votes out from getting Biden in. If Biden loses that peripheral because, you know, counter elite capture it, I know all the right wing wants the ADL to die, and yeah, their founding is kind of disgusting and all that, but think past your personal biases and view it as just an asset. You have to just think like a brutal capitalist. What are my assets and how do I use them? The ADL is an asset. The Southern Poverty Law Center is an asset. Who owns those assets? Right now, it's the Democrat insiders. If Musk has already captured the asset of Twitter. If he can work with Benji in Israel to capture the ADL, and they can contain the Southern Law Center, you've expanded your assets of the counter elite. Like the Dark Elves have captured these assets. Forget about all your hatred of the organization itself. Just view it as like this is a business I can take over and extract wealth or capital, political capital from. If in the next 14 months, Musk and a lot of the not really right wing, but like not progressive Jews can capture those assets, then Biden will lose the election. That he will not be able to contain the peripheral rebellion. If that happens in 14 months, which is it's quite an ask to do that in just 14 months, then Trump will come back. And at that point, the question isn't what Trump will do, because Trump doesn't do anything. The question is, what will the peripheral do, having cut Biden out and put Trump back in? What's their goal? I don't know.
I am curious to see if that possibility does happen, but I think at this point, what's more likely is just like if he just croaks. That's probably the most likely.
He's not. I'm sorry. They will pump more drugs than a meth addict into that man to keep
I
him
know,
alive.
but your body can take only so much adrenochrome, right? There's
You
got to be a
don't-
limit,
you-
you know.
You don't know the dark magic. Okay, they can keep.
I don't know. Maybe
Just-
that's how they get what's his name to live for like 100+ years at this
Yeah,
point.
if they can get Kissinger to live
Yeah,
that
Henry
long,
Kissinger. Maybe that's how they get him. Oh, and by the way, did you hear that story? Like
Joe Biden is 30 years younger than Kissinger. You know,
Oh my.
they can keep Biden alive for 4 more elections if they want him to. You might see Joe Biden run again in 2028.
No,
Uh,
I refuse. Well, so here's the thing. Did
wouldn't
you
they
guys
just run
see?
Kamala Harris at that point? Like, who cares?
no,
Like,
no, but they Harris is an asset. She is not a player. Biden's family,
I know,
his,
but
like,
if they can get the right, the people on their side, like, does it really matter? Do we have to really
it
pretend?
matters in the
like,
long run.
But in the long run, yes,
pretend
but-
with these people. I'm sorry to report, you have to play their game to win it, and their game is this. Question is simply, what assets do you need to cut Biden out of the peripheral vote rigging, vote fortification? The assets you need to capture to get Biden out are the ADL, the Southern Poverty Law Center, several other legal centers, and eventually the voting machine companies. But that's not going to happen in 14 months. You just have to think of it like a brutal capitalist. So what assets do I need to accomplish the goal?
I mean, I wish those things were achievable, but considering the fact that most of the
It is-
mainstream
it is-
right
It is
still doesn't
possible.
understand the friend enemy distinction, like I really don't
I know.
think it's possible. They
Well,
can't
the
even get
friend enemy
basic presuppositions right.
The friend enemy distinction is supposed to only be used for like players, not assets. You can't. The assets just do what the players tell them to do. So if you want, to win the election the quick and dirty way, you have to capture the ADL. You can't quit. You can't kill it. You can't my base like right wing destroy the ADL. Sorry, that's not the way the game is played at this point. What has to
Do
happen?
you think
is
like
have
getting
to-
rid of Jonathan Greenblatt helps in that endeavor?
Yeah. AA did a good video on him. He started off as a Starbucks water salesman, right? He sold Ethos water.
Yes.
And the ADL hired him to be a ruthless capital. The ADL captured territory from the Southern Poverty Law Center in order to, that's why the ADL started talking about racism and everything, because they wanted to capture the Southern Poverty Law Center's like assets, or not. They wanted to capture the market share of the Southern Poverty Law Center. The Southern Poverty Law Center is its own asset, run by its own people, its own players that run it. And Greenblatt, whatever his name is, he was brought in because he was good at taking over market shares, as he did with Starbucks taking over water shares. His role is to capture market shares. It's not to do anything of his own volition. I'm sure Jonathan Greenblatt goes home every night and doesn't think anything about anything he says. He just does what he's told. Rather, he says what he does to get more market share. His asset, the ADL, needs to expand, and so he competes with the Southern Poverty Law Center to expand his market share and kick out the Southern Poverty Law Center in some areas. Now, if Elon Musk can get Jonathan Greenblatt out and put his people in, then the ADL becomes a captured institution for his little faction. He can put that asset to work with his players, if that makes sense. One of the roles of the ADL is providing legal support and finances for, sending about 50 lawyers to a voting center and saying those signatures aren't good, kick them out. Those votes don't count. They're like, the signatures don't look right. Those addresses don't look right. Right. That's what that asset does for your faction. It manipulates the vote. In 2020, the ADL, the Southern Poverty Law Center, a lot of these other NGO kind of things, they were just funding lawyers to go to vote centers and kick out the ballots that they didn't like. Every couple of weeks you hear about 200,000 ballots were found illegally rejected. It's like, who cares? The vote's over. This is what Jeb Bush did for his brother in 2000, where Florida was a captured asset, and so the lawyers of the Bush family were able to turn the vote to Bush, even though it was kind of obviously for Gore. And in 2024,
the Supreme Court too, being on
the Supreme Court just, but the Supreme Court just does what it's told. So, the Supreme Court's another asset, which admittedly is captured by conservatives right now, but for how long, who knows?
Is it really captured if it doesn't do their will most of the time?
There's within reason of that.
It really can't though. Even in the regime, it just isn't going to be possible for that to happen. But
the Supreme Court really functions more as a delay tool, like reality catches up basically. So like the Supreme Court will be like, okay, you can't do electronic voting, or okay, you can't do this and that. It's kind of just like the Supreme Court is best understood as a legal janitor.
Yeah,
just it fixes all the.
Yeah, it puts motions into a holding pattern whenever I guess the Grand Theft Auto stars levels gets too high. It's like, okay, let's chill out here for a second until the heat goes down. Essentially,
again, forget about all your personal biases about what the Supreme Court is. What is it as an asset? It takes leaks of areas where political capital has leaked into reality and caused a disturbance. It cleans it up. It's a janitor. Its asset role is a janitor. Oh, you did all this legal maneuvering to get those votes out or add those votes in. The Supreme Court will just clean up that mess for you, right? It'll make it legal or it'll make it illegal. Stuff like Roe v. Wade was kind of like,
it will find the right for you. It will find it for you.
Yeah, Roe v. Wade everybody knew Roe v. Wade was going to die at some point because it was legal ad hoc. It was one of those rare instances where the Supreme Court caused a spill. Like this stuff about privacy that's not in the Constitution, it's kind of nonsense. It was ad hoc. So the Supreme Court cleaned up its own mess with overturning it. And they'll do stuff like that all the time. I'm really hopeful for when I think eventually electronic voting is going to have to be made illegal, just because
too many voting in general would be made illegal.
Well, that will take a blue Caesar, but we're not there yet. Or red Caesar, but I don't have faith in red Caesar.
I need blue Caesar, purple Caesar, red Caesar. I need someone to get a hold of Ben Shapiro for him to stop sending me emails for free 5G Samsung Galaxy A23 for my audience. What is this? Get it out of my inbox. Free!
I'm looking at the comments. Is Death playing the vending machine? Is Kissinger even in this thing?
Bro, it's so true. Why is he not in the vending machine though? It's like all the good people, I guess that's the way death is, right? It's not fair. It's just how it is.
There are a number of ways to extend life if you start early on doing them, and I think he started them earlier. I'm not talking about like the adrenochrome meme.
Oh
There
yeah,
are
I was
many-
about to say about him. Did you hear the story about like how the regime like asked him to go do stuff for China because like
Yeah,
they
yeah,
couldn't find
he's-
anyone better? Like that's the
he's
level the regime
currently-
is at. You know.
He's in the Ukraine war stuff. He's still working. I think he'll probably live to like 110, probably.
I mean, he'll
Um,
still be useful to the regime at that point. Still.
You'd be surprised what you can do to extend a person's life. I think
Well,
he's you know how like Prude has an extra, like they don't take out the organs that go bad, they just add more organs in some cases. I think Prude has like 3 kidneys or something.
Well, he has
I think
a
it was kidneys.
baby
I forget what
kidney
organ.
because he has a kidney condition or whatever.
So Kissinger has like I think like 6 kidneys or something at this point. You know that? He has 6 he has like, I think he's gone through like 4 heart transplants. He's got like 6 kidneys in him. He's got like God knows how many organs. Again, like Kissinger his life can be extended for another decade if you wanted. He's one of those people who can choose to die. There are hard limits. Like eventually his brain's gonna go, but if you look at him, he still has a brain. He can still think. So like if you're not one of the people that suffers from like a mental decline, you can
Alzheimer's.
live for you can live for an extremely long time. My favorite story, there's this guy he's not in the Guinness World Record because his records haven't been found, but he was 146 or something. And it's because his brain was like unbelievably slow but could still kind of speak, because he just happened to have like very healthy organs and got the right transplants. He was interviewed in the 1960s, and he was talking about his life because he was black. He could explain things from when he was a slave, like 120 years before.
Oh yes, I think I've heard of this person before, actually.
Yeah, he was unbelievably old, and it was just by like happenstance that because his mind wasn't in like total decline and the rest of his organs were fine, he could just keep living. I think he lived like 146 or something, maybe older.
Or even about life extension in general. This was like a big talking point in conspiracy theory, like YouTube a long time ago, was people just pointing out the cancer rates of senators and congressmen. It's like 0.1%. It's like, compared to the general population, it's insane. It's like they're obviously getting some special meds.
There are a lot of things you can do to make the body repair itself in ways you wouldn't expect. Like I do fasting every month because I know it adds like decades to your life. I probably won't die of cancer or anything, but what's probably going to do me in is like some stupid like rare cold that I get at like 80 or 90 or something. But if I can avoid that, I'll probably hit 100. But I take lion's mane because if you take lion's mane with niacin, like I'll tell you some dark elf magic, okay?
Oh, go ahead, tell us.
I tried growing lion's mane for
it's hard.
a while
It's
back.
hard to
It
grow
is very hard. Like oyster
it does not like
mushrooms
it does not like growing.
Yeah, oyster mushrooms are very easy to grow, and then I was like, oh, lion's mane, this should be easy. No, it was not. It just came out like a ball of cauliflower.
Yeah, it's a feisty mushroom, but if you can grow it, and if you take it at the right percentages with niacin, which is like vitamin B something or another, the vitamin B, whatever niacin is, it will open up the blood brain barrier for lion's mane's chemicals, and this will essentially, the way lion's mane works in the brain is that it will kind of search and destroy bad neurons and promote new healthy growth. It's like one of the rare minerals that causes neuron growth. So if you take it you shouldn't take it every day, but if you go through like 2-week cycles of it and pause from it, you're not going to have any mental problems for the rest of your life. Your brain will stay sturdy for the rest of your life. The only negative side effect of it is that if you don't pause taking it, it does start to erase memories. Because in the process of searching and destroying your weakest neurons, it will start to sever connections where your memories are. So you're supposed to fast from it for You're not supposed to take it continuously. You're supposed to give it a break. You take it for like 2 weeks with niacin to prune the weakest neurons, and then you let the growth factor repair the connection so you don't lose your memories. And if you do that like in like month cycles, you basically have a good brain for the rest of your life.
Bro, this actually sounds like
I take it occasionally, but I also for
This is deeply esoteric knowledge. You're
No,
getting on
this
the
sounds
stream.
like it sounds like you've stumbled upon the protocol in order to make Spartan warriors. What you do is you sit somebody in the room, you make them overdose on like LSD and lion's mane mushrooms like all day, and then make them watch like 300 every day, and then they will be, oh, this is literally me. And
Is this the thing where like we microdose, like we rock climbing type thing? I know that's a meme, but oh, shit.
Get his ass. Get their asses.
Listen, the shotgun is very useful. Very useful, especially in tough situations like we're going to face in the future. That's all I'm going to say about that, especially on YouTube.
Oh no, where'd Luth go? Oh no, no more Luth Templar. Sad.
Probably drop out of the street.
Yeah. He got sick of my BS talking about making Spartan super soldiers by erasing their memories with lion's mane and just making them watch Roman media, Roman and Greek media. You will become a warrior.
I love the idea behind that. It's very Aryan, we'll say. You know.
Oh man. What did I tweet earlier? I tweeted at Geo something. It was oh gosh, it was like a title of a gender studies paper, but it was the bodies and spaces problem, the systematic oppression of white and Aryan bodies, or something like that. Like trying to make it sound like a gender studies paper. We're just like, oh man, that sort of stuff. Like, I don't think having that ironical kind of like play on words, like, oh look at them, they're hypocrites, actually does anything. But it's at least a funny idea. It keeps me entertained.
Well, if you can use their language to help advance your own career, and we've seen this with college. Like, if you know how to play their language, you can use path assignments very easily.
Oh yeah,
you might as well just take advantage of the system at this point, because it's all going downhill from here. So, like my health bar, there's no point in trying.
Dude, dude, you've got major skill issues right now, dude. Don't get hit. Don't get hit.
Listen. Oh.
Yeah, no. Get back in the safety. Get back in the safety cubby, dude.
Oh shit! No, you don't. Listen, we're still at 21 bars of health, folks. It's all right. Everything is just, Let me know if Luffy comes back into the chat.
How's school going, by the way? It's been a while since we talked.
Oh, it's going good. It's funny, actually. My geology teacher is actually not as woke as I would thought. He's a white guy, but he's very autistic. So it's a very interesting combination, right? My other two teachers are just kind of your average shitlib kind of teacher. Nothing really special about them.
Yeah,
but
that's part of the...
he's not a woke. He's not a woke fundamentalist. I like that term. He isn't. He'll use the language because he has to. That's
part of the reason why I declined to enroll after a few years, because I was an RA in college, and we got a new boss like 2 weeks into the new semester, and she was like a 26-year-old, freshly graduated from some liberal arts college in Chicago, and holy moly, she would add an extra hour onto our meetings to talk about like basically like critical race theory stuff. What else? We had one where we did like a group activity, making an identity wheel, where you basically made a pie chart of your different identities and stuff. Oh my god, dude, it drove me insane. I was depressed that whole semester. I was like, no, I can't deal with the frisson in my brain.
That sounds miserable.
No, dude, it was horrible.
No, but I feel you, man. Like, I really have not had great experiences with teachers. Like, pretty much everywhere. Like, they've all been like rabidly like leftist, and like, I'm not even joking when I say that. My baseball teacher, who's also my history teacher in like high school, was an open communist of the Che Guevara type.
Oh, dude, this surprises me not at this point because, like, I saw, like, the college I went to was very rural, and I was like, oh, we're getting it here now. I thought I was safe.
No, nowhere is safe.
Yeah.
It does not matter where you go. All right, Father Corian, come on.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh, there you are, Buster. Hurry up.
Brother, it will be but a moment. Patience, brother.
Is he canonically like a Orthodox or
Yeah.
Catholic? He's Orthodox. Yeah. I
Because this
figured.
is Eastern Europe. I mean, I would assume it could be Catholic. But I don't know. That looks pretty Eastern Orthodox.
Yeah, it looks very Eastern Orthodox to me. Yeah. And they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming.
Oh, that's what the shotgun is for. I can't wait till James Lindsay's like points, like 8,000 points, come out for real though, and it'll just be like it'll be like Jordan Peterson's like message to conservatism or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, dude.
it'll probably be something as cringe like that.
When is Jordan Peterson completing the trilogy, by the way?
I don't think he will be doing that.
No.
I'm sure
I don't think so
that
either.
would upset his benefactors. We're gonna use a Half-Life reference. That would upset his benefactors. I think a little bit too much.
Dude, I wonder what is actually going to be in his 8,000 points. Like, because I don't see how you
How to
could
become
have.
gay in like 3 steps.
Yeah,
Three
yeah.
steps, you know.
But if he's going to be serious about it, right? I don't know what you can say other than like aping. I don't know, destroy the universities in total. You know, and that's one of our points. Like, what could you possibly say that actually realistically will skirt around like all the critiques we've had of his, you know, hypothetical 8,000 points, you know, because we all know where the direction, you know, just based on what he said, like what direction it's going
Well, you
to. And
see,
even based
I can't do his accent because he's just such a sodomite, but it'll be like, well, you see, you know, you do gay sex, you gotta do it this way, and if you do it this way, you'll defeat the liberals, because you see, part of the plan of defeating wokeness is you have to become gay first, so that way you earn the trust of the university system. Then once you like, you know, sodomize yourself and you've like been accepted into the gay system, then you can do micro changes to the system, and this is how we'll root out wokeness from universities. It'll probably be something like that.
So what you're saying that he's going to say that actually we're going to hijack the gay agenda
Yes.
against wokies. Okay, fascinating.
Yes,
Fascinating
because
point,
it'll-
Mr.
yes.
Lindsay. How much that is going to work? I just like look, like here's the thing, like all of us are going to say, yes, like the number one client group of like woke skulls. Yes, that we will find a way to turn them against their masters. Like that is ludicrous. No one thinks that's going to happen.
Well, if you have a certain like and this is the bigger issue, is that like there's just people who like aren't smart enough to understand these things, and that's what you got to realize. And I've kind of realized this at this point. Like the people who are going to listen to what James Lindsay has to say are the people you really don't want on your side, like leading anything. Those are the people you just want like naturally. These are like natural kind of serving classes. They're not like any natural classes where like elite ideas would come from in any serious society.
Or
But
at
because we live in such a gay society, this is what we accept because, again, conservatives are the biggest users.
or even see that's the thing that really like chaps my ass is because like people seem to not know that like okay it's in the first part of his book where he talks about well actually like this anti-woke project is in some way like trying to preserve like the goodness of sexual liberation and people being free to be gay.
You notice the
Again,
only reason he doesn't care about wokeness is because it's interfering with something he actually likes.
Yeah,
That's
no,
the
no,
only
no.
reason why.
But that's exactly what he says.
He
says,
has no
like,
moral qualms about the actual issues. It's just because it's affecting the thing he likes.
Yeah, and it's just like, and then people act surprised when you bring that up, and they're like, "No, he didn't," or the typical copes, like he didn't say that, or well, actually, that's a good thing, and stuff like that. It's just like, it's so tiresome at this point.
I just really don't care what those people have to say at this point. They're not going to make it. They're probably going to die from AIDS or something. They're just too degenerate. Quite frankly.
I wonder because like they're probably I don't know if you've seen this in the Twitter ads they're starting to roll out like the new AIDS medicine and stuff like that, and it's probably the stuff that Magic Johnson has been on for 30 years or whatever. And so like I don't know if the descent if the engine of progress with like increasing how livable dysgenic behaviors, like that engine is just going to keep on chugging.
I'm back.
Oh, they have him back.
The Dark Elves cut me off for revealing their secrets. Like literally,
No, we just finished saying goodbye to Father Gregorian, so say goodbye to the base priest, man.
That was funny. I basically just lost my internet connection. Nothing was wrong with my internet. It just died. Anyway, though.
No, but we were just talking about James Lindsay because, of course, that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just especially frustrated right now. I was basically saying, like, I'm very frustrated with the people who don't want to admit James Lindsay has made points about, like, oh, this is actually preserving... This is about preserving, basically, like, gay liberation against, like, the excesses of woke, like that. And that was literally something he opened up in his book, and it's just, like, people are like, no, he didn't say that, or yes, that's a good thing. I'm just like, it's frustrating.
I mean, you have to view them as, like, these aren't your friends. They might be your enemies in some conditions. Most times they're just a neutral party that you have to just, like if tolerance has a use, tolerating them might be worth something, but it's
what do we
only
get
when
out
they're
of
not
tolerating them, though? I mean,
nothing. You get nothing. You get the occasional extra couple thousand votes. That's it.
Oh, it's so worth it, guys.
It's like, you don't get to pick your friends in taking down a common enemy, but you do get to cut off your bedfellows when you don't need them anymore.
No, I will agree. We don't get to choose to pick our allies, especially in the current circumstances that we live in. However, if you're going to act like an enemy, I don't think you should be accepted at all. And James Lindsay is very clearly an enemy.
Yeah, he's you don't make any permanent alliances with them. If there are common grounds, you work towards that, and then everything else just there's this idea of like that there are like there's the spectrum of politics, and within each like zone there are micro spectrums. Those are people where like you can work with them for like issues like some forms of free speech and isolationism, but you don't bother with them on issues like, hey, let's like stop chopping kids' dicks off and stuff. They'll never be an ally in that area.
Well, speaking of people who are never going to be an ally, so Freddie O'Connell, the new Nashville mayor, has tweeted, or he tweeted previously This was in 2018. If there is American exceptionalism, it exists in the strength we have drawn from being a nation of immigrants. As the grandson of a Jewish immigrant that fled pre-war Europe, this factors into why I think it's still important to hashtag resist. Ah!
Just what?
No, it was the hashtag resist Trump stuff. Yeah, you remember when Trump got elected and that people were spraying resist onto overpasses and stuff in rainbow colors.
Yeah, when they thought they were Star Wars characters and shit.
Oh,
But they kind of still are Star Wars characters because they're
Again, like
just as gay.
those people are like the James Lindsays of the left. Like they're just useless assets that are like have micro responsibilities and just like throw them away the second you can because they're just dead weight.
I am so disappointed. Nashville is going to turn into Memphis so fast. No, it's gonna get worse, bros.
Hard to imagine how else it could get any worse. But
yeah, it's
I still
there's a million ways they can still to you.
I remember because I the U.S. event was the first time I went to the South. I visited like Monticello once, and that was like all I ever went to the South for, like an architecture tour. But man, it was so over when I visited some parts of the South. It just looks like the ghetto everywhere.
Oh, you have no idea how bad it can get. It can get legit third world in some parts of the South.
I noticed.
And it's been that way for hundreds of years, and unlike our good friends James Lindsay, we know why. You know?
It's really sad though, because it's like like in many ways they're just a people that refuse to like save themselves, and when you're in that stage of cultural death, it's just fucking depressing to be around those people.
But then again, you should come back down and visit the Hermitage and see Base Jackson's house.
Oh yes,
Jackson, I have such mixed feelings on.
I do too. I mean, yeah, he's a complicated figure for sure. I don't know. Yeah, he's my figure. A historical figure, if you will.
I've never heard that pronunciation before.
But here's the thing about him: he's from South Carolina, which means you need to take anything he says with a grain of salt, because we know what comes from South Carolina. Not to denigrate people from South Carolina, but
he just comes off as a gangster to me, like
oh yes,
and I don't appreciate his pro-democracy stances.
Yeah, but he's hard though. I mean, he dueled people while in office. That's cool.
Whatever. It's like the ability to shoot fast doesn't mean you have anything of value to say to me.
Yeah, it means I've got the fastest trigger finger. I mean, that means something.
Yeah, I'm pretty like I joke about like halfway being left wing on some issues, but like with Jackson, I'm like, yeah, no, he expanded the franchise and that started the end.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, he did? When did he do that?
He expanded the vote to anyone who's white rather than just landowners.
Yeah, I see the subversion coming in now.
Yeah,
that was the start of like once you expand the vote to people that don't own land, you've turned democracy from a decision-making process for those invested in the system to a asset extraction value service. It's like it no longer matters.
Yeah, that's Thomas de Tocqueville's point whenever he wrote on America. He said, as soon as the people realize that they can vote out of the public largesse their interest, it's game over. I can't remember the whole quote, but that's what he said. I mean, that's exactly the case because, if you don't have people voting, like the franchise has to be restricted to people with skin in the game who have a interest in making wise decisions and have a farther time horizon for their preferences. It's just like that totally eliminated that. But he was against the central bank, which like in terms of like statecraft, like that's actually not that wise, but I don't know. Maybe that's some latent libertarian. That's maybe some latent libertarianism that's still in me, where I'm like, man, I really hate these bank people. I just don't.
I mean,
I don't,
you know,
I don't like them.
I'm no fan of usury, but I do see the value of having a central bank that you
It
control.
is useful.
not
Yeah,
an-
no, it is useful, and that's the thing that's
Yeah,
got
if
me
it's
all
run
split.
by your people for their benefit, I don't see a problem with it intrinsically.
Exactly.
If it's run
The idea
morally,
that-
I don't see a
the idea-
problem with it.
The idea that it should be independent is like a lie. It
That's
should be
when like
Yeah.
you can like allow any actors to come in and then they control your financial system.
a large amount of the problems America faces today started because of Andrew Jackson. And sorry to be like a bit of a sorry to be a bit of a lib on that, but
No,
Well,
it's
he was the
true.
first populist, so I
Yeah.
guess so. We kind of blame that movement on him. Even though America's always been populist to an extent, it's just baked into the DNA. I think.
yeah,
Any
but it was
revolutionary country.
it was guided by their betters, and now it's guided by who gives me the most power, right? Who gives me the most votes? Who gives me the most assets to control?
Or who
It's
gives you
when
the most like cooming potential? Have you guys like seen that Virginia woman? Like I guarantee you, she'll get elected and like.
It's just
No, like-
it's fucking depressing. It's like
Or Bobert with her new boy toy getting groped in a family theater, dude. That, oh my god, dude. It's so over. We got Coomers in the White House. We got Coomers
Well,
in
this
the
is going to
Congress.
be the new facet of politics, I think, because we know Zoomers are Coomers. As sad as that is to say, like the majority of them are. Like this is going to be the future of politics with women.
it.
Like this is inevitably going to happen.
And
I hate
this
this.
is
You see
why-
this with every dying society too. You see this with Babylon. For some reason, every society that's dying and decadent has to put women in charge. They must
Yeah.
do it. I don't know why. It's just
Because
something all
it
dying
is-
societies do.
It's the inversion of hierarchy. Like, you start with little subversions. The next thing you know, you're allowing people that really shouldn't be allowed to vote.
Next,
To
you
vote.
allow the tranny in charge, which we have. So
Yeah, I would say the tuning of America started with Andrew Jackson.
Who was the president that oversaw the change of the senators being selected from state congresses to popular vote?
I'm pretty sure it's Lyndon Johnson, but I don't know for sure.
sounds like one of them. I think that was in the mid 1800s or something like that.
Really, I thought it was later.
I'm looking it up.
I don't know. I know a lot about the presidents generally, but I don't know specific bills. I know geography, which is like something Zoomers apparently can't
Whoa.
understand whatsoever.
Most Americans can't either.
No, they can't. They don't even know the capitals of their own states. 90%
It's
of
so
them.
over.
Like it matters anyway. Who really cares? Because that's not where the center of power is anyway. But
Yeah.
I think I liked when America was like you had this like state loyalty that people used to have.
Yeah.
Over
That-
like
that comes and
collective
goes.
identity.
That comes and goes in history, and it was starting to gain traction a few years ago, but then it just freaking died.
You know what I mean? Because this is why Robert E. Lee chose to fight for the South, right? It wasn't
it
over
was-
like any grand principles. It was because he chose loyalty over the state, over this like this nebulous idea of like America, and like fighting against his like home state for the federal government, which would be
It's,
unimaginable now. Now we have our generals saying, who can like sell? Who will I sell out first to China? Will be
Yeah, I mean,
pay me
like
the
what,
most.
once your politicians have no grounded investment, they can just they're like birds; they can fly away whenever they want. Nothing holds them to the ground. This is like, if you want a new generation of American politics, you have to understand the relationship between being grounded in a place and being involved with the politics of the place. And if you're not grounded, politics is just a wealth extraction.
In
It's just another- it's
1913,
another business.
17th
Yeah, it was-
Amendment, 1913.
1913.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
Huh.
late. I figured it was more recent than the 1800s.
Huh. Yeah, I figured it would have been like late 1800s, but yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah. It was, it was a recent thing.
We're expecting gunships at any moment. Colonel
Yeah, I kind of like giving women the right to vote, which was wasn't
19.
that Harding? No, was that Coolidge? No, I think it was Harding who did that. that passed under him. That was really the beginning of the end. Like truly. You know that meme Black Horse tweets out of like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and there's that one horse who joins in and is like, "What's your name?" And it's just like women's rights. And it's just like, oh, you're the worst of all. It's just like...
Yeah, it was
That's a done goof. Somebody done goof. These guys have been goofing.
once once you can vote without having landed assets, it's only a matter of time before they let your wife vote too.
Yeah.
Voting, it was always meant to be the actions of elite who have the interests of their subjects. It was never meant to be a civilian thing. Like, it's just dumb.
Yeah. Or even
Well, Steve,
boomers.
yeah.
Like my dad has been a little bit what's it called? Who wrote the series? Oh shit. Oh no, service guarantee citizenship. Oh dude, I'm totally blanking.
Oh,
on
that
it.
sounds
Yeah, I know.
like
I know the story.
what does it
Buenos
sound
Aires
like?
main characters from Buenos Aires. They're fighting the bug army. They're in kind of like an old republic, like an old Republican form type government where it's like a military war government where they have to go fight in space against the bugs.
Yeah, Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers. Dang. My dad will say that. It's like, man, I really think, you know, that service guaranteed citizenship is kind of a good deal where you can actually prove you have skin in the game. So like even some boomers actually kind of like are hip to this point where they're like, yeah, people should have to prove they've got skin in the game to vote. Or even Sargon said that in the past, and a bunch of people got behind him on that as well.
This is something reactionaries maybe need to learn. Like, democracy in and of itself isn't the evil; it's how you use democracy. Like, it's just a tool. It's just a tool, and if you misuse the tool, it's not going to give you a beautiful end result. The use of democracy, the use of citizenship, the use of that right. You contribute something to your state, and the state rewards you with responsibilities for the state. You can't just freely give it. Like, something given freely has no value, unless that applies to everything. Like, actually, that's one of the things that I really don't like about Protestantism, where they try to claim Christ's free gift of salvation. It wasn't free; he had to freaking die. It's valuable because he sacrificed his divinity for man to be saved. Same thing goes for voting. Like you want people to give a shit when they vote, make them earn it, make them have value of it. You can't just give it out like a gibbon and a handout. It just has no worth then.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is the problem when you have mass like enfranchisement and like the idea of like pure man and like classical liberal idea.
Yeah.
So the man is inherently good. If you just like allow him to like, you know, influence decision making, he'll make the natural good decision. So that we must let him do this because this is a good thing. This is a natural good thing that you see.
Yeah, there's this idea that they thought that about man because the church had made man a good thing after centuries of like weeding out the sin and degeneracy. That doesn't stay in and of itself. It decays without the church. So like, yeah, like a few generations after voting was given everyone, what do you know? The value of man has gone down because it's just like it has no church to guide it anymore.
See, this is the kind of like HVAC work I can support. You see, we do with the crane. He uses a giant wrecking ball.
Bro, you don't even know. Do you know any crane signals? Come on, bro. You don't even know crane signaling or anything.
Do you even have like a study to back that up, though? Do you have like a study?
I've had to do a 16-hour OSHA session.
Oh shit! What the fuck was that? Oh, you gotta love Valve games, anyway.
So,
it's getting.
Oh shit! What even is this thing? Is this
you
thing?
broke it?
Yes,
I've never seen that before. Okay.
It's getting late for me, so I'm gonna head out. But thanks for having me on.
See you
No, we
later.
appreciate it, Cringe.
Have a good night.
Oh man.
All right, I'm probably gonna call in after I end this level, but
Word.
You know. Tell me more about the crane signals. Listen.
Oh no, there's a whole system. Well, it's I'm not going to dox, but there's a whole system of hand signals you have to do. Before we had radios and all that stuff, we still had cranes, so there was a whole system by which you would signal different crane operations to the operator if he was blind to the load that he was dropping. So if he's flying a load up onto a rooftop, he can't bend his vision around the corner of the roof to see where he needs to move stuff. So you'd have someone assisting the operator, signaling like boom left, boom right, cable down, cable up, or boom down, hold load, which is where they reel the cable back as they're moving the boom down and stuff like that. Oh yeah, it's real fun. Some of my most fond memories of work are signaling cranes, because I don't know, it makes you feel superior to everyone else that's actually doing the hard work of breaking their back, getting underneath the unit, and getting the wiring in order, while they're dropping it.
And the interesting thing about the cranes, especially the big ones, which are like, I don't know, a couple stories tall, is that they're like a massive machine that you're just like controlling. You know what I mean? And like when things go wrong, it's just quite a spectacle, right? Like, I don't know if you've seen that video before on Twitter where like this crane catches on fire in New York City. And it's one of those like it's like a classical like couple story box crane that you use to construct buildings.
Yeah.
And it's burning, and like it collapses, but like the way it collapses is like the control box and the arm go first, and then the skeleton goes next, right? And it almost looks like Spider-Man, so you'd seem like Spider-Man.
No, a lot of crane. I used to be a crane tech. That was like my first job out of college. Was funnily enough, and fixing those things is really important to fix cranes, because like those things are so dangerous. Like the risk of structural failure if they're not maintained is like enormous. Oh no, skill issue. Dude, you're getting skilled issued all the time this whole stream.
Listen, we're gonna fix this. Anyway, back to what I was saying. But it's a symbolic of a society that's dying, because like obviously this crane was just left unattended, and like nobody came to solve the problem here, and it was probably caused by like an electrical fire, something like poor maintenance. So that's what most of these things are caused by, right?
Right.
I've done it fucking again.
or even there's union guys, like union steelwork guys who will actually, they'll take more pins out of more box sections while taking it down than are necessary. They'll end up in just like 10 mile per hour wind. They'll end up crushing the whole crane under its load as it's deconstructing itself and stuff like that. And it's a tragedy, man. That I'm pretty sure that's what happened in that crane collapse at Google. They ended up whenever they were taking the crane down, they took out more pins than were necessary. And I was like, dude, these guys are freaking union too. Like, what the hell are you doing? You're getting paid $60 an hour to take this crane down. Like, why are you rushing? That's retarded.
It's probably because those union guys are like newly imported immigrants. We're being real here.
Yeah, honestly.
I don't understand this fascination with unions. I never understood that, right? Because for some reason, some people just like have this like idealistic view of them, right? As if they do something good for the worker, when it's like maybe one good thing they've done in the last 10 or 20 years, besides just being an instrument for like organized political power for the Democratic Party.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it's been. Like, as far as I remember, like the shop that I work at is a union shop, and I'm non-union. I'm a non-union worker. And you know, it's like I don't see the value add, especially like the state, you know, I live in. It's a right to work state, so it's not like the union fixes that. The only thing they can really do is put you in another union shop if you get fired or something like that. You know, it doesn't really help.
There we go. Using some of that good Aryan ingenuity here, figured out how to get my buggy free as this, you know, gunship tries to kill me.
Getting lit up, dude. That man, this is really taking me back. I wish the good old days, freaking, you know, having my little computer room beneath the steps like I'm Harry Potter, playing video.
Back when games were good, you know, before Gamergate destroyed everything.
Yeah, dude. All we wanted was ethics in game journalism, dude. Why
And like somebody had a really great point where it was like the woke retards in charge of our government. They kind of shot themselves in the foot when they made like video games and movies so like woke and garbage, because like the masses would medicate themselves on this shit, right? And it was subversive enough to where they were still getting the propaganda. They weren't doing anything actually threatening to the system or building anything in reality. So video games, good video games, are almost the perfect distraction from the dying and decaying society around you, right? So it's kind of a good thing Gamergate did happen, even though, yes, we missed the good video games. It was kind of a blessing though that like the good video games went away, right? Because what you know, what did all those hours of like Team Fortress 2 or Half-Life or, you know, Halo or Battlefield like actually achieve in real life, you know, besides saying a few gamer words, which is epic, right? Like everything still got worse around us. Society still declined, and like think about where we were in 2016. Like think about the rhetoric we were at. We would cringe right now if we were to go back to that level, right?
Oh, dude,
that was the level of dialogue for like years and decades, though.
I'm just thinking about what I probably said in 2016. I was probably so cringe and so blue pilled. Oh god. Yeah, no, you're right. It's you know, the opiate of the masses kind of stuff that
yeah,
you know,
it's not you know, unlike what you know, one of the benefactors said, it's not religion that's the opiate of the masses. It's another thing. It's video games and prawn. That's the opiate of the masses.
No, it's that's a you know, like I had a couple tweets that kind of did the numbers, and it was talking about Baudrillard and talking about the death of the good aspects of things. Like Baudrillard specifically said that like the death of sex and relations between men and women, that death won't be because of like repression by like a bunch of prudes or something like that. It'll actually happen because of like prawn and stuff like that, and like the ecstatic like use of it everywhere. It'll become like a shadow of itself. So even the good things, like, you know, good relations between men and women, like, will just get worse over time as like the media, or as media becomes more of an opiate and stuff like that, was essentially his point.
Well, that's kind of a good thing, because the medias are just organs of like institutionalized power at this point. So the less effective that they are, and the more like gay and decrepit, the better it is for us, right? Because who wants to listen to these people anymore? Like, they don't say anything. Like, you know, as cringe as to say, they used to be respectable. You could listen to these people, even though they were always libtards, right? They were insane.
The NPR is the perfect example of that, because the turtleneck NPR wearer like used to have a point where NPR was like, was kind of quote unquote respectable, or at least in like the popular vision, it was that way. You know what I mean? So this kind of like inversion, you know, with I think I'm trying to think who flipped on NPR though. It's mostly like the walkaway Democrat people probably flipped on NPR, because everyone else who was a turtleneck wearer probably is like, no, NPR is still cool.
I forgot they even exist, like, because I'm not a millennial. I've never even read them at all. So
Yeah,
there was
no.
never a time I thought they were interesting whatsoever. Uh, Here's the thing, though: as bad as things are, like we've progressed so much in terms of rhetoric, that it's unbelievable. Like just within my lifetime, we went from like Jeb Bush, talking points.
Who is still gonna win in a landslide? He's gonna get all the
Yes.
electoral college votes. By the way,
You know, and Mitt Romney, like male feminism,
Oh,
slow
God.
liberalism, gay garbage, nonsense.
What do you think about Mitt Romney not going for a second or another term in the Senate?
It's a good thing because I don't want a sodomite in the office. But
You don't think that he's named a successor that's going to get the nod from the GOP? I think there's some devious stuff afoot because I think he's going to be.
Here's the thing: Utah is controlled by the LDS Church, and the LDS Church is its own animal. Like it's insane. Like even when you look at Salt Lake City, it's insanely liberal and left wing. It's insane, Like we hear these memes, right, about the based Mormons, right, who are having kids, and yet like they're the number one recruiting base for the CIA
and FBI yep,
and
yep,
FBI,
yep.
and like they vote for the most establishment candidates ever. And, like I'm not saying like all of them are bad. A lot of it's because of their church structure, but like still, we have to look at the fruits of the tree here.
Yep. Yep.
And like it isn't very great for Mormons, even though like yes, they're still white people, and I do think they're nice people, but again, same team, but not on the same side.
Yeah, I will say my only experience with Mormons was when I was like, oh God, I was like 17, and I was back home. And my best friend's mom was like, look, hey, I need some help for a big family reunion. Will you be the grill master? I said, yeah, but will you buy me beer? And she was one of these hippie moms. And so I thought I could get out of her. And she said, yes. I was like, holy shit, yes. So I got a 6-pack. And so I was manning the grill. And part of her family was Mormon. This little kid he couldn't have been over 10 years old, came up to me. And he said, is that alcohol? And I said, yeah, and like I was so confused. I was like, "You've never seen a bottle of beer before?" Like I thought he was genuinely asking. He was like, well, my mom says if you drink alcohol, you hate God." And I was like, "Oh man, that went from 0 to 100 real quick." And so I ended up like getting kind of mad. I was like, "Bro, I'm just trying to enjoy a beer. I'm here cooking for all of you. Please stop annoying me." And now looking back, I'm like, I shouldn't have gone full debate me, bro, with that 10-year-old at that family reunion.
Bro,
he was probably right.
A few more years earlier, you could have been on like the SJW compilations, debating a Mormon.
Oh, dude, yeah, that was one of my cringe moments, I think.
I wish I had more of those moments, honestly, but I had just
one of
those childhoods where
No, my cringe moments keep me up at night. Sometimes they'll return and I'll say, why did I say that? And they'll just keep me up for hours.
Well, there's a certain amount of cringe that's just inherent with life, comes with maturity. But
dude,
some things are definitely worse than others.
I'm gonna put there's a certain amount of cringe associated with life. I'm gonna put that in live, laugh, love font on a sign, and then dash American Elitist, and it's gonna. I just got a laser engraver.
Yes, you can quote that. You can quote American Elitist 2023.
Dude, send me your PO box. I'll send you one of the signs. I'll get it laser engraved.
But man, the early 2000s were something, weren't they? Because you seem like you were a person. What year were you born, by the way?
I was born in 95.
Oh, okay.
So I'm
so
like
you're old enough to remember 9/11.
Yeah, I am technically old enough to remember 9/11, but do I remember 9/11 at all? No. I think like the vaguest memory I have is like there was maybe a day because I was like what 6 or something. Yeah, Yeah, no. I was like just turned 6. So like maybe there was a day I got picked up from school, but that's all. That's the vaguest memory I have.
So I'm one of those Zoomers who was we're gonna ignore that, but jumping off a bridge. I was one of those Zoomers who was born after 9/11. So I have like no living memory of that. I was born in 2002. I do have the faintest memory of like the Bush years, Bush Jr., the less competent one. I do remember his America a little bit.
Oh, so
And
do you remember the stop the I'm imploring everyone, all nations, to help stop these terrorist killers. Now watch this drive where he's teeing up a drive on the golf course.
I don't think I paid attention to the news, but that probably was within my lifetime. Yes. And the thing about that era and time, it was so weird to describe it to somebody who like has never lived it, right? Even like the younger people. They grew up under Obama. That's all they know. So they were already fucked. But like, at least I grew up like, I'm not gonna say ashes, but like kind of ashes. That's what Bush Jr.'s like tenure in office felt like. It didn't feel like the America of old, but it felt like it was still continuing on, right? It was still a living thing, even though it
the
was
story
obviously degrading, right? There was still
felt
something
like-
you could genuinely believe in there.
Yeah, the thread of the story had not been severed yet completely.
And then when Obama got into office, everything changed. That's when that's when they activate. Yeah, Obama. That's what we call him in Zoomer terms. When Obama got activated, bro, like,
Dude,
I swear.
Obama YouTube era was kind of kino because you got all the schizo boomers like posting like range videos where they would get Obama printed on a target, and they dude, there was some real Fed posting on YouTube by boomers back in the day. It was amazing. It was some of the most hilarious like boomer butt mad content like that's ever existed.
Yeah, because Obama is sort of like this perfect enemy for the boomer, right? And like obviously, I think he's a legit enemy, but he's almost perfect for the baby boomer, right?
Oh yeah,
because they can't actually, with their lexicon, right, with normie conservative, actually confront any of the issues because they still buy into like the civil rights regime at least a little bit.
Yeah.
So they can't actually bring up the criticisms that they were feeling about him, right? That he's what those criticisms were was that he's a foreign alien and he's not like he's not of Anglo descent ruling America, right?
Right, but they could never put it in those terms.
No,
they had to put
they had to use terms like radical left and Zog terms.
Or they put it that they would bring up that, but it was all on a technicality. It all hinged on the birth certificate issue. So they would raise that criticism, but it was couched into certain things like, the real reason we don't like him as a foreigner is actually because we don't think he was actually born in the U.S. and stuff like that. And I've heard some people like who are real like birth certificate truthers like lay out their piece. Like they didn't show me anything, but they were like, look, like I could send you some stuff and stuff like that. And I'm like, I think I could believe you, but it's just like, how important is that now? That man is still like basically the shadow president right now.
Like, I mean, yeah, his beard. I will say this, even though the man was like insufferable, and he was like I still even know the term for him because it's like it's not even like he personally in charge. He's just the skin suit, right?
Right.
But at least the bureaucracy behind him was competent, right? You can't say that it wasn't incompetent, but there was just something about it that felt like, yeah, this is the end. Like that messages I used to feel under Bush Jr., even though like I don't like him now. I probably used to like him back then, if only because he was white. Because I've always been naturally race realist.
Yeah.
This is why I was against Obama. Oh, by the way, do you remember those things they used to do in school? Those like fake elections, right? So they get ready for democracy, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those gay things.
Yeah, no. I remember, like that was around the same time. Like we would have a bunch of like fake, like basically fake adulting simulations, like buying stocks. We would basically like choose stocks and track them. It was all like, I guess it was like what do they call them? Like there's a certain capsule of a couple different lessons or something like that. They call it a
Module?
certain name. Yeah, module. Yeah, it was
Modules.
probably a module that they had where it's like, let's get them exposed to adulting and stuff like that.
No, but I remember. So it was like 2012, right? And here I am. I really don't understand politics, although I do kind of intrinsically, because I'm a Southerner and Christian. So there's always something naturally right wing about me.
Mhm.
I never bought into the Zog, thank God, like many people did. But there was just something like, even though like I knew nothing about Romney at all, I didn't know anything about him, even though his name was Romney. I just knew that he was white, and this other guy named Obama is black. So I voted for Romney solely because of that reason. I like telling that story, right? Even though I hate Romney, but you get the deal, right? Oh shit.
Oh, skill issue, dude. You can get skilled issued.
No, that wasn't my fault. I pushed him off the bridge, but some kids naturally have right-wing instincts, I will say, even though their parents probably weren't trying to do that, because this is like post-racial America, right? We're still living off the fumes of the 90s and 80s, right, with your Gen X parents, right? So they still fully believe that worldview, but like, there's some things that not even like lipstick can make look pretty. We just inherently recognize about people.
Yeah, I will say that most of those kids that do have right-wing instincts, especially now, that probably gets beaten out of them like quick. Especially
Well, yes, with the modern like indoctrination system, yeah, I can't imagine it lasting very long at all. Don't you dare knock me off the bridge again. That's right.
I don't know. I've got some doubts about it because like there's like basically every single teacher is a true believer. You know what I mean? Like that's like Aaron's point about them trying to like wheel it back, and like there's actually kind of a cultural awareness among like boomers and millennials about like their kids and what they're getting taught in schools, and it's basically like masturbation 101 and stuff like that. It's just like, well, there's so but there's so many teachers who are 100% true believers that I'm just like, dude, I don't know if that's like the indoctrination is gonna get reeled back anytime soon.
No, it's not. Especially with the current cadre of incompetent, like woke fundamentalist in charge, right? Instead of like having Christian fundamentalists in charge of space, we have woke fundamentalists in charge, which is gay and cringe. Oh my God. What the fuck? And it brought me all back. Anyway.
Dude, you're getting ace. You're getting ace today, bro. Oh, man. What's going on the timeline right now? Shoot. Let's see. How many are we celebrating this time? Is it billions? You got billions of subs now?
1K, yeah.
1K, yeah, 1,000 billion. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Yes.
That's crazy. Dude, it seems a little bit high if you ask me.
It does. The number does seem a little bit high, but when you look at the statistics and you look at the story, it all makes
American
sense.
Elitist is just the most prolific man on all the social medias.
Well, I try to be. I try to give a good name to Zoomers because we just have like nobody representing us who isn't like cringe.
Dude, I've been on nothing but celebration streams here lately. I was on Yiz's celebration stream.
Yeah.
Now yours. And it's just like, who's the next party stream coming up? Who's the next closest to a milestone?
I know Prude hit 10K recently.
Oh shoot. Dude, I
remember when he was at 200 subscribers. Man,
really?
Yes.
Oh, dude, you because
I'm an OG to this like sphere.
See, that's the thing because I was like a late convert from kind of like Gun Printer, like anarchists and
2A
stuff like
community.
yeah, Gun 2A, like anarchists, yeah. So it's funny. It was like I got my world shattered by Charlemagne vids and stuff like that. I was like, oh my god, this guy is like way smarter than me. I don't have anything figured out. Yeah, you know, because
reactionary.
yeah, no, literally, like I
No,
had
but it
never
was
heard-
like it was revolutionary at the time.
yeah, and so you know, I saw Academic Agent started making his turn, and then also Charlemagne videos, and then you know, I was already like Sargon of Akkad, you know, ethics and games journalism. So yeah, I was kind of like in a weird schizophrenic like headspace, and then like it all coalesced. I was like, this is why a bunch of the stuff that I think doesn't make sense makes sense. Booyah, you know. So I was kind of like a latecomer. And it's funny because Jay Burden kind of like realized that at this latest event, and he was like, "You're the latest convert from libertarianism. You probably still know how to party, huh?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I do." So I made sure to keep Jay Burden like his hand with a tall boy beer in it, and so we partied. It was fun.
Yeah, there is something about being an OG that's cool. You know the lore to most of the shit. And I'm just get screwed.
Oh, you're donezo. You're donezo,
fucking
champ.
shit.
You're donezo. Oh man.
All right, I think we're gonna take a break from that. We're gonna take a break from the gaming stream. It was fun. We're gonna read out some of the comments and chats.
Yeah.
Hey, Alex, oh, he might. Bar might come back on. Okay, I'll keep streaming them for a little bit more. Let me see if I got any super chats because the super chats are enabled, Anons. So you do need to support me.
Give Sneedfully. Give Sneedfully, everybody.
Yes, Sneedfully, please do so if you can. But I do have some comments because, of course, I did come a little bit prepared for this stream on my Twitter account, asking people some base questions, right? Since I turned 1K, you're allowed to ask me any question you want within reason. And some Anons took me up on that offer. And I'm going to go ahead and read their questions they asked me if they wanted to know for this stream on the channel. All right. Mr. Garden Warden asked me, what can you realistically see yourself giving your life for? A belief, loved one, cause, political entity, etc. So to answer this question in two parts, realistically, I could see myself giving my life for Christianity, for Christ, because I truly believe that. Because as Dave likes to say, this is a war for belief, and I would give my life for that cause if necessary. And I would say secondarily for family and loved ones. Those are the two things I would give my life for, without hesitation, I think. All right, Mr. Christopher Sandbatch Groiber says, Red Pill origin story. Okay, you really want to know the story? Well, it's not very grand. I wasn't reading, Nick Land at like 3 a.m. at a Walmart parking lot. But so if you really want to know how I got red pilled, actually, I was actually at a Walmart with my grandfather, who's a big Confederate guy. And I think you know where the story is going, right? So this was the era in time when Walmart was banning all the Confederate stuff. Do you remember that? In like 2017, 2016,
No,
Walmart
I
banned
don't.
all of the Confederate stuff they were selling.
I feel like I should remember that, but I don't. Holy moly. Oh, dude, it's been totally memory hold for me. That's crazy.
No, but I vividly remember this moment because they banned everything, and I was just like, well, hang on, wait a minute. This is my culture. Why are these like, I didn't have the term, but libtards and like fags, why are they like banning my culture and stuff? And then they started taking down the statues of Robert E. Lee in Richmond, Virginia, and I was just like, wait a minute, like we're under attack. Like my ethnic group is under attack, and like it kind of began to click for me, and that's when like Gamergate was going on, and that's kind of the spark of my Red Pill origin story. Although I will say some people don't have that. They don't have the fundamentals to experience that because they were raised by woke atheist libtard parents. I at least had some nominal Christian background, which I think definitely saved me from that. But that was my Red Pill origin story. I would say that Walmart experience was kind of really the beginning for me at Gamergate because they were happening at the same time. That's my Red Pill origin story.
See, that's funny because most people younger than you, their red pill moment that involves a Walmart will probably like, oh man, I got bio-Leninismed in the face.
Oh,
you know?
Dimes
So-
followed me back on Twitter after I was shouting at my boy Dimes.
Let's go! Let's go!
Fucking go, guys. We're so back. Total
Dimes is a
Aryan
G.
victory. You know, we're so fucking back. No, but it's really great. If this thing decides to work. But yeah, that's kind of my rip. I don't know. What's kind of your story, right? Did you have a singular moment, or was it kind of a series of events that kind of made you realize that like
it was
things are really bad and like we're under attack, like for real?
it was kind of a series of events. Like the part that really solidified it for me was definitely college. Like I'd already intellectually engaged with like farther right like material and stuff like that as like I was kind of like theory selling in like the libertarian anarcho whatever space, as well as like extreme left ideas with like Baudrillard and stuff like that. So I'd already kind of like touched all the bases, but in college I was like, holy shit, like these administrators are actively like praying for my downfall because of my skin color. And I was like, wait a minute, I thought this was supposed to where I'm a classical liberal, guys, you know, like I pretend to be a classical liberal in polite company and stuff like that because I didn't want to talk about, you know, gun printing anarchism, you know, in college because that makes me seem like a schizo. And then like in part of that, I think I kind of believe that like the society was like founded and was still running on liberal principles, and I was like, oh, okay, that is not at all what's going on. And so that caused like a frisson in me because I was like, I thought the enemy was statism and not there like this undertone of like what was like bio-Leninism with like these young, you know, mulatto administrators getting snapped up into like country colleges from liberal arts colleges. They were like 26, and I told that story about when I was an RA and our room administrator. Like that really brought it all together. I was like, oh shit, nothing works like how I thought it worked.
No, I think the moment kind of sunk in for me that like things are fundamentally wrong, like this like race blind society that we were promised right in middle school, right, with like the Bush years, right, where they were all still telling us like, oh, we live in a colorblind society, like everything is great, you know, we're all equal. That everything changed with Obama's second term. Like It was like a switch, like it was like a cosmic switch flipped, and then like now we're out for blood. Like there's no like skin suit, you know, there's no hiding behind a mask, right? It's just no, we're coming for you, and we're gonna use like all levers of power to attack you and ruin your life because you're intrinsically evil and racist. Like it's so hard to explain, but like 2012 was really like a watershed moment.
Vibe
I
shift.
think.
It was a vibe
Yes.
shift. Yes.
It was really a vibe shift, and of course, like any good subversive, he's back on.
I realized I had forgotten to actually show you that shitty game I was working on.
Well, I took a break from Hat Life because I was like falling down the bridge too much, even though we love the music in the bridge section.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Let
the
me see if I can-
gameplay got way worse when you left. I'll just say that. You know, 0 out of
You're in the
10.
boring levels, so here if you want.
All
so
right, let's
this
see
is
what we
like-
got here.
This is my shitty game that I've been working on for a while. Just
Hell
on and off.
yeah.
This is good. I haven't done any graphical stuff, so like I've got like the if you run the camera shifts. Do you see that?
Hell yeah, Minecraft run, dude. That's sick, bro.
This is my gun. It shoots.
Wait, is that
Nice.
a water bear in the sky behind you?
Shh, we'll talk about that in a second.
Oh,
So my gun shoots. I have a few objects here. You can pick them up, right? And then, well, bam. You notice that when you pick things up, Oh, that fell off. That fell off into oblivion. Because I haven't programmed it fully yet. When you throw things, you shoot too. But you can pick them up. Not only can you pick things up, you can also rotate them. Ooh, whoa. You can imagine if this was an actual competent model, you might find a cool product. Like I designed a while back, you might remember, a bottle of Cope. And I think I'm gonna have a bottle of Cope in this game, just like pick up. So
It's
these are
just
my
like
textures. I
it's just like Skyrim. You're gonna put clues on the bottom of the little claw, aren't you?
Well, here's the thing: you're already like almost like beating like Starfield. You're only like a few months away from beating Starfield. Like it really doesn't take a lot.
Here are my various like programmed elements. Like this is a valve wheel, so it'll turn. If this was an actual 3D model, this would like turn a gate or something. I have a switch here which works. You can like switch stuff. That's like a little programming. You can't see the numbers because I haven't done the textures yet, but this is actually like a template for like a safe or something to open. So the code I put in is 1, 2, 3. So if you can see the wheels turn, I can do 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and it will open. And so if that was like if that was like a safe or something like in Desired, you could open stuff up. This is just my little red button, like an example of a button that could one time, it sends out a signal ping that I could connect to something. Now this door, you notice this door doesn't open, and that's because I don't have the key for it. But if I go over here and get the right key, so I have a few keys here, but only this one's the right one. I can collect all the keys if I want, but only one of them actually works. Now I have the key, I can open up the door, and it'll open up and close like a normal door. This is a window that I haven't done a model for yet, but you can see how the window opens and closes. This is my very broken ladder. Okay, so if I go up here, it just kind of infinitely goes. I had to press space to turn the gravity back on. I had to fix this. This is like a kind of shitty programming. But yeah, it's just like infinite. It turns your y coordinate to a z coordinate, so you can kind of like, I'm off the ladder now, but
creative mode unlocked. Let's go.
I know, right? So I have to get the player to like get locked onto the ladder. So you notice the water bear here. This is my like template enemy. It's like a giant fucking bear. And I can shoot him, and eventually he'll like lose health. I forget because I haven't worked out the. Also, I'll just open up this door. So here.
Oh no!
Oh,
they got Luth. They got Luth again. No.
Some of the
Oh, he's back. Okay.
Some of the.
Hey, you cut out for a second there, Cringe.
Well, now he died. You saw, he died.
He's dead.
These are my various buildings I have done nothing for right now. But yeah, these are the mechanics I worked out right now. I have to also do an elevator and a few other things, and then I'll eventually be able to like make levels. Now, if you want to see, I'll turn this off now, but I'll switch over to my. Wait, where's my? So I have a few different settings here, but I forget which one's the one. I think this is it. I might be open up the wrong window, but let me just. Yeah, this is the right window. So this is one of the levels I'm working on here. This is like a sewer level, basically. Oh yeah, you don't have the screen preview on.
Everyone's favorite.
Oh wait, don't. Sorry, I just realized my my real name is in the file save.
Oh, we almost just doxed you.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I've doxed myself like a dozen times anyway. But there'd be no way to really hide it. Anyway, though, that's a little game project I'm working on. Most of the systems are working now. If I wanted to be like
James Lindsay an enemy in the game, is that possible?
I'll make him a war criminal or something. I don't know.
Imagine a plot where you go to defeat James Lindsay, and like the biggest like weapon is just the Civil Rights Act, and he immediately disappears. that would be the single-handedly the greatest game of 2023.
Yeah, it's something I've been working on here and there, and well, if it ends up being something, I'll sell it, and maybe I'll make a few shekels, but otherwise I don't care.
Oh, did we lose Cringe again?
Do I keep getting cut off?
No, you're back. You're back.
I revealed too many Dark Elf secrets with the pills and everything, so
Yeah, now they're
They-
coming after me, man.
They're coming after me. All right, that's my little
Hmm.
thing. I'm gonna go back to bed because I realized I didn't show you guys that. But there's no graphics in that. There's no 3D models and anything like that. But yeah, that's just where it is.
I just
I don't
asked
know,
that you do a Linux native build whenever you're done, so I can run
I
it,
think-
please.
I think Godot does that automatically.
Yeah, they
Is
do.
it-
They
so,
do.
yeah,
You just have to package it. You have to select it. Just please.
It's like a Vulkan graphics or something. I forget.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm hoping to like right now. I'm more focused on getting my actual architecture license and being like a professional and all that shit. But
That's lame,
once
dude.
once I
So
have
you
the
have a
time,
master's degree in it, right?
yeah, but that doesn't count for licensing, unfortunately. Eventually I'll work on that. You know, the thing that I keep telling myself when I feel like I'm behind schedule is, hey, Gabe Newell released his first game at like 40 years old or something. So I'm good. I'm good.
Well, yeah,
I
and
got,
he wasn't even like Mega Chungus yet. He was still
Yeah.
at base level
was-
Chungus.
he was just Chungus.
You know, yeah. Before we got
It's all
like the
good.
beard, you know.
You're about to hit the 3-hour mark in about 30 seconds, by the way.
Let's go.
I know. Let's go. It's been a great
Uh,
stream, actually. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't watch much of your content because I'm busy, but I do want to go back and watch a lot of it because I have to catch
Please,
up.
I
with
have some
people.
really great streams. They're very underrated.
I'm so out of it. I don't do I have to get back to like Restoration Bureau stuff. I have to get back to like writing. I've just been like really busy studying.
Yeah.
But
No, that makes sense. We got to do our wagey jobs, unfortunately.
yeah. Hey, once I'm a real boy architect and can like do cool shit, I'll be able to like do real estate too. One of my old bosses, he married a real estate agent, and they just like 2-timed the legal system to just get buildings, redesign them, and sell them. It was really cool. There's all these like ways you can like make money off the government architecture. You can if you marry a real estate agent, you can get them to upgrade to like do real estate law stuff, and then you can buy a building, update it, get tax credits for restoration, and then go back to just rinse and repeat.
I
Did I
went
lose
in
you
on
guys
that
again?
game. No,
I mean, yeah, you can make a lot of money off of that. It's completely legal, and it's because you're restoring. I advise people, if they want to help rebuild their cities, get involved with real estate and restoration stuff with architecture, because the government gives you like $20,000 per building you restore. It's like kind of nice. And if you can do it cheaply, you can make like a lot of money really fast. Like just rinse and repeat.
Oh yeah. What did the libs call it?
Gentrification.
Yeah, it's you can contribute to gentrification.
Yes, that's right.
It doesn't
boys.
have to be gentrification.
Okay,
It
it doesn't
does,
have
though.
to be, but I'm telling you, it needs to be. Holds gun to your head, you know.
I'm coming from the New York perspective, where when I hear gentrification, all I hear is Chinese bankers moving in.
Oh,
That's not the type we mean.
Because you guys are getting them from Canada, aren't you? Because Canada has like that huge
Yeah.
booming. Yeah.
Toronto's a 1-hour flight away, so a lot of people are hiding their money from Trudeau in New York.
Gross.
The vultures are starting to. Would vultures be the right word? But whatever animal hides, the squirrels are coming home to roost. They're hiding their nuts in New York.
We're putting our horses before our metaphors and mixing
Yeah.
our cards. Yeah.
My family sold a few houses to the Chinese, so we're part of the problem. Sorry,
Traitor.
Hey,
Oh,
you
he
know how
sold to the Chinaman.
you know how
Oh,
Brooklyn Brooklyn isn't just for Jews anymore. Now it's also for the Chinese.
It is. It's for everyone.
Yeah. No, not everyone, just the Chinese.
Dude, I will say, it's you're the first New Yorker I've liked, because the only New Yorkers we're getting down here in Tennessee are the first
Old.
generation. The first generation were retired cops because they wanted their pensions tax free.
Oh yeah.
And then the second and third generations were everybody related to those cops, and those people are total shitheads. Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
Lord.
There's a bit of a class system with the police, children of police. Because let me put it this way: in New York, if your family members are in the police, you just waive the family members' police membership card, police union membership card, and you can get away with like every ticket you think of.
That's
Like,
horseshit.
It's very caste based. my family does it occasionally because we have some cops in our family, but
Dude, I think if you try to waive your family members like cop badge number or something like that, you should get double fined. Okay.
Well, the
Like-
cops, the cops are kind of harassed by like literally everyone else. So if you're
That's
part of the
true.
family, in New York, if you're part of the cop family, you're part of like a fraternity basically.
Yeah.
Well,
And
that's probably all I
rough
do
here.
at this point. That's right.
I know they're not allowed to do anything. Although I will shill for my mayor. He's a former cop. He cares. He sends the boys in blue in to sell some shit sometimes. A lot of the mess and crime in New York is just leftover de Blasio policies, and Eric Adams is like trying his best to just get rid of all the bullshit.
Bring back stop and frisk.
Yeah,
Save
so
the
Giuliani.
nation.
Yeah, you want Giuliani again, is what you're saying. You want him...
Giuliani needs to claim more breasts to get back into the mayor.
Yeah, he's got too much gynecomastia.
He's going to jail. He's going to go to jail probably for a year or two.
Oh yeah, probably.
Because everybody knows it's a lot easier to send Giuliani to jail than Trump. Because I mean, look, when this stuff goes to trial, it'll eventually probably go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court's going to be like, presidential privilege, get lost. But Giuliani don't got that, so he's going to go to jail.
Yeah. Wasn't everybody else? Isn't that going to happen to everybody else too?
Yeah, everybody involved with Trump is going to go to jail, and then when he gets in, he'll pick a few faithful.
Do senators have privilege? Because they charged Graham, interestingly enough.
I don't. Well, what they charged
in the
him
trial? I don't know. They charged him with some conspiracy BS.
I don't know.
He said some tweet sometime that some libtard didn't like. I don't know.
Yeah,
so therefore he committed a hate crime.
A lot of those trials are just like they're designed to be media pieces. They'll never survive the trial itself. It'll either be kicked out, settle it out of court, or who knows what. Like make $1 million donation to the Southern Poverty Law Center, and you'll get out. You know,
pretty
that kind
much.
Of shit. You shouldn't worry about any of this law stuff. It's just headlines. Like Trump's not going to go to jail. If he does, I'll be surprised. But
you'll eat your hat. How about that?
No.
I'll eat my hat. How about that?
I won't eat my hat.
I do think that there is. It was obviously set up for the trial to be on Super Tuesday or the day before Super Tuesday.
Yeah.
They obviously set it up to just be the maximum inconvenience. So I don't think he'll go to jail. But
you're kind of assuming there was a competency here. These people thought, oh, we'll give Trump bad press and he'll lose in the polls, but all data says it just boosts his polls, so that they're kind of accidentally making him popular.
No. I just mean inconvenient for campaign management, because he's got to spend so much time with legal team on this. Like literally just make him spend more time on other things other than campaigning is what I think they thought.
Wasn't that the point of getting him on trial before like Super Tuesday or whatever?
Yeah, that's my point. Yeah.
A lot of that's like, it doesn't actually matter because you'll just find a team of lawyers and they'll handle it, and you'll just like show up to court occasionally. It's kind of not as much of an inconvenience as you think it is. It's more it's just it doesn't matter. It's kind of just like it's something to ignore basically.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it.
Think of the trials as the left wing is like a free advertisement. Like you don't have to reply to people on Twitter about it. You don't have to debate it in real life. You don't have to do anything about it. Just let the left wing make the advertisement for you. It's just like, well, it's free real estate. Let them do it. Like you can be completely above those waters and not give a shit about it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see what you're saying. It's just like, I don't know, because like I definitely like fell for the black pill. I was like, oh man, everybody's going to jail. It's game over. It's so over. It's
well,
never
they kind
been
of
so
still
over.
need them to continue the illusion of the system, but like, I don't even know if they're competent enough to continue.
They're not
at this point.
I am.
They need them, but it's like they're still persecuting them, so it doesn't make sense to me, right? As the controlled opposition.
I am gonna have a mighty fun time. Like you saw the competency crisis with the who's that kid who almost went to jail?
Where? Which state?
Rittenhouse. So Rittenhouse, his trial was a competency crisis. Like the opposition, the prosecutor got kind of shown up to be like just full of shit. And that's because he was like an incompetent tomboy of a nobody. Like, oh, let me come to court with my rainbow flag and be a political asset and do literally nothing and get found out that I was, fudging pixels. It's like, okay, so you're just incompetent. The same thing's gonna happen here, where it'll unfold pretty quickly. I'm not gonna watch any of the trials. I don't care. It's just a waste of time.
It isn't, but I'm curious to see what the regime does, right? With
What can they do? Like they've already kicked out anybody competent. They're just like running on fumes. That reminds me. One of the things that you remember, one of the big reasons why Trump won was because of the Biden bros being angry at Hillary.
Oh, the Bernie bros, yes.
Like that was like 5% of the vote that just didn't vote Democrat that year. You need to. I was thinking, like, how can you replicate the conditions of the Bernie bro outrage with this generation of voters? And I'm pretty confident that it's the student debt people, right? Like they voted for Biden because they thought they'd get out of debt. Never happened. Never gonna happen. And if you could find a way to get them to be in the same, like,
coalition.
No, they're not your allies. But like, if you can get them to be in the same state of mind as the Bernie Bros were on 2020, they won't show up to vote. They'll be like, "Fuck this, I'm out." They don't. It's not like they're going to vote for Trump. They're just not going to vote. They're going to be like outraged. They're going to protest vote. If you can get like different factions in the Democrat Party to feel that way, you can replicate the conditions of the 2020 election, and they just won't come out to vote. They just won't be there. Anyway,
See, I don't know how you meme that, because it seems like a lot of the targeted advertising, like you remember how libs were so upset about Cambridge Analytica and what they were doing with like photos or voter psychometrics and stuff like that. It seems like a lot of that targeted advertising was aimed at that kind of Bernie bro demoralization campaign. So I wonder if Cambridge Analytica not existing anymore, that's going to be harder to replicate. Like, because
did they get bought out? What happened to them?
Oh no, they went under. I think. Hold on, I think they just dissolved because they couldn't do anything because the public outreach. Facebook banned them from using their API and stuff like that. Like they really got smacked on the hand pretty hard. So I don't think they could do business anymore. Let me look it up. So, but just theory crafting, I don't know. Without like someone like Cambridge Analytica, I don't know if Trump can emulate that same amount of demoralization attack again.
Well, it's kind of like like you have to like basically tell them they're not going to get rid of your debt. I'm sorry, but they're just not. This is a lie you bought into. Why are you making yourself into an asset for someone that doesn't care about you? Like you are a financial asset of their backers. They're never going to forgive your debt. Get that out of your head. Never going to happen. It does have to be a bit of a demoralization campaign of just like convincing them that, because these people are kind of dumb. That's why they're in such shitty loan situations. But you do have to get through them.
Listen though, they needed that underwater feminist basket weaving degree that was $200,000 worth of debt. They needed that, That's what their feminist teacher told them in high school. Man, I feel bad for some of them. I'm not gonna say all of them are victims.
I mean,
some of them were misled. I do feel bad for some of them.
I'm anti-usury, so I do think it's like
some of them were just lied to, straight up.
Yeah, they were lied to. They were told that the loans were easily payable and that they'd get jobs, and then that never happened. If you really want to be like cool with it, if you can convince them that they're never going to pay off their debts and the immigration crisis is going to prevent them from even finding jobs that will let them pay off their debts, then they may become an asset. But it takes a lot to convince them of that.
Okay, so I've got on the Cambridge Analytica front, I've got two different sources that say two different things. Apparently, there was some controversy in 2020 where they were still operating on some public rebranding of like people's images, but they're officially defunct as of 2018. Yeah. So, Oh,
another
sorry,
thing no, I'm just brainstorming. Another thing to bear in mind: this will be the first election with AI involved, with like campaigns, memes, everything. That is an unknowable force, because we haven't seen like militarized like AI images and art and voices and memes and stuff like that, right?
Dude, that's going to be schizopolitics. The velocity of information is going to be going so fast.
It will be like 2016 on steroids.
Dude, it's going to be impossible to comprehend.
It's kind of easy to shut down. Like you can just the AI companies can just say, well, you can't do any political images this year. That could happen. But I think at this point there's enough independent AIs that you don't need the big companies anymore.
I run Stable Diffusion locally, so they're not shutting me down. I'm memeing the whole way through. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, like the thing I did with I found a few really good deepfake algorithms that you saw with the Dave image with the Dave one with Far Cry. I'm tempted to make funny memes with that, but I don't want to get involved with that mess because you know that they're gonna.
It's gonna be litigious.
That's gonna get litigious in the next 14 months, and I'd rather just stay out.
Do you remember when they dragged that guy out for making that meme about Hillary and the election being another day?
That one was. Listen, don't get involved with.
Like it's so true. You literally can't because the regime wants to kill you.
Well, there is legal. So if that case were to go to a higher court, you could argue, well, I'm not a political actor, I'm just a comedian, so you can't take my incorrect information as a political truth. But that was never tried in court, and I don't think anyone's brave enough to. I don't know why that guy had some pretty shitty lawyers, honestly. There were a lot of ways you could win that trial, but he just didn't try.
I feel like though, even if you could win the trial, the system's already rigged against you in the first place. So it's it's best not to put yourself in the position to where you can't be.
I would tell everyone listening, just don't do AI memes with politics. Don't do it. It's tempting, just don't do it. It's not worth it. And you don't know the legality of it. It hasn't been tried in court. Just stay away.
But if you're going to do it anyway, you should probably release it on a truly anon board. Wait, I mean, if that's fair, because I think there's a bunch of guys.
Oh, if they want to come after you, they'll find your NS.
I'm sure
if they want you, they'll come after you.
I'm sure there are farms of Russians and Chinese who have the same meme ideas you do, and they'll do it for free.
Bro, we need a government organization when we win, like the Chinese 50-cent troll army. You guys ever heard of that?
That would be
We need an organization like that just promotes American patriotism everywhere. That would be so based.
Yeah. Well, you pay
NSA, 50 cents per hour.
The NSA does actually do that. They do have a meme warfare department. That was something that was released in the Vault 7 leaks that came from the Langley, Virginia Secure Network. Yeah, so they already do have meme warriors in Langley.
Yeah, but they're not a troll army.
Yeah, I keep saying like this is a great election for you to take things more seriously. Like, go to your local old folks' home, get to know the old folks, volunteer to drive them to the election center, like do things legit. However crazy it sounds, do things legitimately. Don't get involved with the games because a regime that feels
it ain't gonna work for you if you try.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like. It's just saying, like the regime feels like it's been bitten. It has a scar and it's got its teeth out. Just don't get in the way of it. Be legitimate. Go to old folks' homes. Make friends with the old folks. Drive them to the voting center. Help them figure out who to vote for, and do things legitimately, like actual good jobs.
Yeah, and be aware of the Ratchet clique. We talk about the Ratchet and Paul of politics a lot. Be ready for the moment that you do something that's even against even the minutia or the color of the law, then you're going to have people on the GOP side just ream your ass about it as well. So it's another reason to be careful, because you'll have enemies on your own side who are you are doing things against the process and stuff like that. And you may say, well, I'm trying to win, but that doesn't win your day in court. So be careful, guys.
Well, you can't really win your day in court when they stack the judges against you. So it's you can't. It's not a winnable situation.
So and that's something if Trump does win, they really have to clear the courts out of this filth.
Yep.
Do you think we do it to the military as well?
The military is hopeless.
Yeah, it kind of is, but I still want to see them punished. I want to see Milley. I just want to see Milley punished. That's one of my greatest wishes in life, is that that man gets, what's coming to him, just because of how much of a shitlib he is.
I'm sure he's starting to regret the shit he did now that he's seeing the
I
recruitment.
mean, he literally betrayed this country to China. Like,
Yeah. Well, who doesn't
Whatever.
at this point?
I know, but the way he did it was so brazen. Too.
Yeah, well. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to sleeping, but I wanted to show you
All
guys
right.
that game. But
Sorry, we
happy,
appreciate it, Critch.
happy
you for
1K,
sharing.
happy 1K subscriptions. I should probably try to do a YouTube channel eventually, but I once did a YouTube channel like 10 years ago and got up to like 400,000 views, but I quit it. But
Yes, please do come on. I need your super chats. I need
Yeah, I don't do a lot of
base,
super chats anymore.
patronage network. I need my based benefactor. That's the new word we're gonna use now. Based benefactor. I like
BB.
that word.
BB
Yes.
something.
We need
Anyway,
more of those.
have a good one. Good night.
All right. good night.
See you, Lou.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and read the comments from the beginning of the stream, and then I think we're gonna close out the stream. Sound good?
Awesome. It sounds bussin'.
We don't use that term. It's so cringe. All right, Paul W. Hall says howdy. Congrats on hitting 1K. Well, thank you, Mr. Paul. I greatly appreciate it. Well, I'm not going to say that on YouTube, but just not. Go ahead and get my channel banned. $40. Hot damn, most expensive I ever had is Dave's Churchill. I really don't have experience with cigars, but I mean, that seems fairly reasonably priced. I know the nice ones, like the Cubanos and New Worlds, can go up to hundreds of dollars for a good cigar.
I'm more of a cigarettes or on the nice occasion a pipe, either or like tobacco, or there's a pipe and cigar shop near me that's got a blend that's based on like an English blend, and it's like close to what Tolkien would have smoked, quote unquote, in terms of the blend. So those are my two mainstays.
And I don't like anything that has Churchill in it. That just means it's intrinsically gay. End of story. Agreedus, Mr. Nullis. George, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Howdy. Good to have you here. And we have the Duality of Man at 820. No game audio.
Yeah.
Banger soundtrack. A minute later. We love the Duality of Man. Anyway, it's great. Hunger the Die Merchant.
Hunger, let's go, dude.
Let's go. I love my good friend Hunger. Congrats on 1K. Well, thank you, man. Never thought I would get to this point, actually. But hey, it's only up from here if I put in the work.
Of course.
Unfortunately, I have to head out. I'll try to come back later. Congrats on 1K. Well, thank you, Mr. Nullis. Mike is in Nashville, Prague City. I think takes an issue with that.
Nashville, Mike is Nashville. Oh, he's asking. Yes, no. Nashville is progressive as hell. It's horrible.
Isn't it just like white progressives though, mainly? So
yeah,
it's like the worst type of progressives because it's self-hating, right?
Yeah, that's the main demographic. Yeah, it's bad because most of the diversity is our strength is located in Memphis, so it is mostly self-hating.
Witticism TV says, "Congrats on 1K." Hey, thank you so much, Wit. I really appreciate it. And go check out his channel as well, guys. He does really good stuff. Very underrated content creator. He puts a lot of good stuff out there. Mr. Sean, I'm not even trying to say that. Good evening, friends. So good evening, friends. Good to have another friend here. That is the title of the stream. It's very cozy. Paul W. Hall says, Montana's been flooded with shit heels from Seattle and Portland. I've heard. And so is Charlemagne brought out. That's why he almost put in the armband. There's actually an interesting article about this, about called "The Coming War." In, is it like Butte, Montana? I can't remember the city, but it kind of talks about this. And again, this is we go back to elite theory. This is blue colonization here. Like you got to stand your ground, otherwise, again, they're coming for everything.
Well, you know what's ironically enough, I know his name carries some ugly connotation in our sphere, but he was right on this fact. Mr. Razor Fist, the Rageaholic, had noted that.
Oh, Mr. Scream, yeah.
Yes, yeah. I know, cringe. But he made a video talking about basically like the elite's tactics, specifically the Arizona Democratic chair. She had a statement that I don't know if it was hot mic or leaked, where she said, yeah, basically if we get runoff money from California, we spend it because every dollar we take from them inevitably makes California shittier, and we'll get more people fleeing California to come to Arizona to vote blue. So this is a tactic that's been going on with the kind of like California machine politics spreading to every other state for a long time. Yeah, the locust.
Or...
Yeah, it's her. Yeah, dude, the locust is the California state bird. If you didn't know.
Like, they're literally locusts. They've ruined so many states. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Even though it is, of course, Dave's home state. It is unbelievably paused and cringe as hell.
I don't care. I don't care. Build a wall around it. Build a wall around it.
No, yeah, at this point, who cares? It's part of Mexico, basically. All right, Paul W. Hall says, though from what I understand, the political scene up there has always been kind of weird. Yeah, but Montana does have a little bit of weird politics, probably because it's more influenced by Canada culturally. Maybe like Manitoba and Saskatchewan. I don't know, maybe there's a little bit of influence. I really don't know, though, because I know nobody up there besides, like, Charlemagne.
Yeah, me neither.
Zog dogs, okay. I fully endorse that.
I endorse that.
Memphis is no joke. When I had to drive to and from Knoxville regularly, I'd add an extra hour and a half to my drive just to go through Kentucky and not Memphis.
Based. Yeah, do not.
Well, you were a true patriot.
Yeah.
Again, to quote, one of our, a based boomer, just stay the fuck away from them.
Yeah,
like, honestly, that is the only solution at this point. Just stay the fuck away from them.
Dude, it was not, well, oh shit, I can't say that. It's doxable. That basically I had a family member that was basically a mile down the road from a abducting that turned into a struggle snuggle that turned into a murder. So, dude, it is gnarly in Memphis, dude. They're in the top 10 for violent crime, I think, every year.
Oh, what a coincidence.
Yeah,
that is. So.
Yeah, it's a
it
big
must
head
be
scratcher.
It just must be the crime, the school districts.
No, it's socioeconomic factors, I think.
Guys, just believe it.
Hey, Dora.
Anyway,
wait, Dora the artist?
Dora. Yeah, Dora.
Yeah,
hey,
let's go, Dora.
Oh, good to see you, man. I like to see you have your based artists. There'll be more of them. Love you, man. Oh, I appreciate it. Love you too, man. HGW's patrician. Oh, so true, man. Only a mind of a true aristocrat can appreciate Half-Life 2 instead of Zog Call of Duty. It's so true.
True.
Mr. Sean says, MMT's like boomer truth about DEI and ESG. They only see the piece, but not the whole truth. I'm not sure what MMT stands for.
Modern monetary theory. It's kind of complex. Well, the thing is,
break it down for Zoomers.
Modern monetary theory basically means that whenever you divest your money supply from it being staple to like a commodity good or gold or something like that, then you get to play with the numbers with how much you inflate and deflate in order to control the economy to make it more healthy, essentially is the idea. And it's like, well, that's how everything works right now. And so I don't know if that's necessarily boomer truth or if that's like a technical innovation, because I think it's cringe. However, I don't have an A/B test to say that it's like a boomer truth invention and a fiction, or if it's, no, this is actually like just like capitalist efficiency. I can't tell you. I know in my soul I don't like it.
I don't know. It sounds gay, so I know it's bad. Anyway, we're going to move on. There we go. End of story. Witticism TV says Binding of Isaac is a good example of a great game with bad graphics.
Based.
Extremely true, honestly. A game that has a great story and great characters, I'm telling you, even if it doesn't have amazing graphics, like if it's a good game and actually gets you invested in it, It just is intrinsically like a good game, unlike the
Binding-
modern like Zog, Call of Duty. You know,
Binding of Isaac is very like anti-Christian though, so that's a major knock against it for sure.
it is, but the example still holds true about what makes
Yeah.
a good game, right? It's not graphics, right? Otherwise, all of the Zog, Call of Duties would be great games, and they're not.
Yeah.
Is this Doom? No, but your mother is. Anyway, moving on. Howdy, friends. Mr. Joshua, good to see you, man.
Mr.
Base
Ham.
Patriot from Texas. Death by cognitive dissonance. Okay, that's interesting. Congrats on 1K. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Mr. Paul W. Hall says, I love my Chester Arms Undercover 38 special.
Based.
So true. Revolvers are based intrinsically because it is the white man's gun.
Yep.
Officially, Scott is still in the race. Oh yeah, he's a oh yeah, he's the paperclip, black paperclip. Anyway, nobody really cares about him. Scott just wants to be Secretary of HUD. I'm not sure what that stands for. I should,
Yeah,
but
I
probably
should too.
yes. India is a demon-infested land, and it shows. Yes. Right on point. There is no one on their side that can step up. It's all AA hires and ideologues. Exactly. That's
Yeah.
why, no matter what AA likes to say, there is no putting the woke away. It just is never going to happen. It's a cope if you believe that still at this point. All right, Paul W. Hall. My guess is Blue Caesar, if he comes, will be some half Irish, half Italian guy. Well, that'd be
No.
based if true, but I don't know.
No, it's gonna be a half Irish mulatto guy, maybe. I mean,
Maybe, I don't know.
maybe.
I'll take it over like Sleepy Joe. I guess, because at least maybe they're competent about where they are half the time, or maybe. All right, witticism is no longer about governance and has made a huge shift to over corruption looting of its own population. Yep, that is part of late stage empire, and that's where we are at this point. I would say there's about 5% of millennials who went to war with me, and we're capable. Oh, so this is like 2003, 2001 era. Yeah, I would say those people are, but the rest of them just aren't. They're weak. Like endomorphs, as I said at the beginning of the stream,
Yeah.
body types. So they won't be doing much besides, eating their soy lattes from Starbucks. It's arguably been in decline since the 60s, guys, so Gen X has watched nothing but a slide left and down. I mean, yes, that's true, but like, Zoomers have known nothing but like absolute free fall. There's a difference between decline and like free fall. Zoomers have been in free fall, like ever
Yeah.
since they were born, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, Prude summed it up with like the vibe shift, talking about it's gone from like whacking off to goon sesh, right? That's free fall. Like people actually calling it.
No, it is
goon
legitimate
sesh,
free fall.
That's free fall, dude.
That is the decline in real life, and Bootstrand and Navial's like elite terms. Yeah. Discourse check. Oh, base. Good to have you here, man. Congrats on 1K. Well, thank you, man. Lo, is Kissinger even in this thing? He'll be at some point, my man. Listen, no man lives forever. He'll
Except
be
for
in that
Kissinger.
machine. Yes. Well, as far as we know, maybe, I don't know. I really don't know at this point. Maybe. Harris is less than an asset.
Yeah, that's so true. She is such a ditz in a club. I mean, it's amazing. She's a placeholder, dude.
Oh yeah, she is a placeholder. Like at least Obama was a competent placeholder. She's just an absolute like knockoff placeholder. That's what she is. She's the knockoff version of Barack Obama, who's more retarded.
Cannot speak.
Those riggers.
Yes,
Based.
indeed.
Very true. That's all I'm going to say here on YouTube. The drama they have on tab regarding Harris is funny. Okay, I'm not sure what you're referring to, but I agree. I don't think the ADL can be captured, but it can probably be marginalized for an election cycle.
I think it's fair. Yeah, I think it's fair.
Yeah, I think it's a fair point. Maybe it can be, maybe it can't, but
They
it's
could
not
be at
serving
least-
for you.
Like Lou Templar was saying, if they can be put on the back foot because they've got to do a management shakeup
It
with
helps
being
us.
Greenblatt,
That's what we care about.
that will help. Yeah, that'll help.
After 60 years of being captured by the socialists. I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. He's more machine now than man, twisted and evil.
Wait, are we talking about? Oh no, we're talking about his 6 organs, Kissinger.
Oh, that's what we're talking about. Yeah. Yes. Probably at this point, man. That guy's had so much adrenochrome, it's unreal. Pneumonia and breaking a hip is what dooms most elderly. Yeah, sad but true.
Yeah.
And like being overweight.
Yeah, nowadays
That's a big thing. I'm in the back room. Well, you're not anymore. All right, you still have Knoxville, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, most of Tennessee is a great state, except for those 2 cities.
Yeah,
It's still a great state.
I will say, yeah, Chattanooga has fallen because
Until it gets flooded. Now it's getting flooded. See, but you enjoy it now while you can, guys, because there's nowhere's going to be left from the horde. They're coming.
yeah, because
locusts.
Murfreesboro is full of shitheads. Chattanooga is full of shitheads. Memphis is Memphis. Nashville is Nashville. So Knoxville, I guess, yeah, that's fair, kinda.
Take it easy on South Carolina. It produced the great Calhoun. I'm sorry, man. Like, I want to. Like, he's a great senator. I'm going to give you that. But, like, your state has produced the worst politicians, I think, like, in the 21st century. Like, and it's not even close. Like, I can't even think of a state that doesn't, comes close to your level of cringe than South Carolina. Can you think of one? I can't. I literally can't.
And reaching back for Calhoun, I mean, that's reaching back a little bit.
I don't know, man. It
little
sounds
bit
like a cope. It sounds like you're still having some copium there, man. It sounds like you're still huffing the copium. Like, listen, we got to be realist here. Woodrow Wilson. Okay.
Yeah. He's talking about, my bad.
South Carolina, I think he's still. To be fair, I think Lee would have resigned his commission even if VA didn't secede. Well, I don't know because the man has passed away, so we can't ask him what he would have done. But I think it's very clear that he chose to lead the CIS Army because his loyalty was to Virginia and not the federal government. I think that's pretty fair to say. All right, Robert Heinlein's Starship Troopers. I've heard of this before. Is that a book?
Yeah, no, it was what I was reaching for when I was talking about boomers actually wanting people to have skin in the game before they vote. That's what I was referencing.
Oh, okay. All right, service guarantees citizenship is only good in wartime. In peacetime, it will just fill your military with social collectibles. Well, that's what we already have.
Yeah.
And it's even worse because it's full of trannies now.
But we were just talking about the principle of having skin in the game, right? Like you have to want to put in the effort. Yeah, do the work. I sound like a progressive. Like you have to want to be part of a civilizational story. You have to be grounded there is all I was talking about. And the boomers, like they feel that intuition through Starship Troopers, like that ethos is what I was trying to say.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. NPR used to have interesting stuff. Now it's just
Yep.
As a Missourian, I apologize on behalf of my state for our failure to fully resolve the Mormon question, and we had the chance. All right, I'm just going to leave that there. Obama single-handedly turned my county Republican. Many such cases. Went from having more votes from Clinton alone in the 2008 Dem primary than total votes in the Republican primary to going 85% for Trump.
Damn.
2016.
That's a swing.
Yeah, that happens in a lot of parts of the country, especially the Deep South and like Midwest. Seem like okay. Media run state as opposed to state-run media.
Yeah. Is he
I
talking
think we're
about
talking about Obama. Yeah, I think that's what we're talking about.
Oh.
The Dear Colleague letter, yeah. Again, Obama was a far better bureaucrat, but he was still a skin suit at the end of the day. Totally agree. A jarring vibe shift occurred 2012 to 2014. Gamergate, the NSA guy, who was shamed for wearing a bowling shirt with pinup girls on it.
Oh yeah, that was nuts. That was such a bro move, and they roasted him for it, man. That was bullshit.
I'm sorry. The only time I think of NASA is that guy. What's his name? Like Pete. what's that guy's name? It's like Pete Wilson or something. Anyway, he's one of the top guys at NASA, and he said something really stupid. He was like, the reason we can't go back to the moon is because that technology, we destroyed it, and it's difficult to build back. And then you're just like, what?
Yeah, that was the first time people got panicked. Like there was people that were having existential crises. They were like,
Yeah,
holy, that was
the bread tube and like science crowd.
yeah. The OMG, I love science people. Like for the first time, got realized that backsliding was possible, and they said, "Holy shit, my whole worldview is like coming apart."
Yeah, they realized their god was starting to fail them. At that point, I agree with you. Yep, I totally agree. Congrats on 1K Wold10005. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Mr. King Ho, Alo, oh, it's good to have you here. Prudentials is also streaming. All right, well, it's good to hear you streaming at the same time. And so is Casey.
Dude, your stream got screwed.
Probably. Hey, listen though, I still got followed by my boy Dimes, on Twitter. So like, it's based, honestly, it's worth it. All right, well, I think that's the end of the comment section. So I just want to say to the audience and to people who are going to watch the stream later, again, thank you all for helping me reach 1K. I really appreciate you anons who comment, subscribe, and like the videos. If you're kind of newer to my channel, please go back and check out my library. I have some really great interviews that are they're really quite interesting, and they'll actually teach you valuable stuff, anons. This isn't just like frog posting. This is some really good stuff. So please definitely go back if you haven't and go watch that stuff. And of course, like and subscribe because it helps the channel. And thanks again for my wonderful guests who come on the stream, Luther Blar and Mr. Micah Pohl. And with that being said, is there anything you have to shout out as we kind of close out the stream tonight?
No, I would just say, congrats on 1K and keep up the good work, and that's all, man.
All right, we'll definitely try. I remember, everyone, the light can't last forever. We're going to win in the end. God is on our side. And have a good rest of your night, ladies and gentlemen.